The North Hills Indians are ranked #1 in the WPIAL and in the nation. They're coming off their 10th shutout of the year, and their first-string defense hasn't allowed a point all year. The Mount Lebanon Blue Devils are going for their 5th WPIAL championship of this decade and could make it a great going-away present for head coach Art Walker, who is retiring after 21 years of coaching. Tonight, WTAE-TV presents The Battle of the Best. The 1987 Quad A Championship, live from Three Rivers Stadium. The Battle of the Best is being brought to you by Mellon Bank, the bank that does what it takes to bring you quality banking. By Skuro Transmissions, we know what we're doing and we're honest. By Allegheny Commuter, the world's most experienced commuter airline. By your neighborhood Pepsi-Cola bottler. Pepsi, the choice of a new generation. By Daily Juice Products, who remind you that there's a Dailies treat for everyone. And by Eaton Park, where there's always something special cooking.
Live from Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh, it's the Battle of the Best for the championship of the WPIAL Quad A. It's the undefeated North Hills Indian trying to hold off the challenge of the Blue Devils of Mount Lebanon High School. Hello again, everybody. I'm Stan Savard, along with my partner Jack Ham. We welcome you to championship football. Jack, you've been involved in football games that helped determine the national championship in college, 4 Super Bowls. But on a relative basis, are the butterflies any bigger than when you play a high school championship game?
I think they're very big. Even though there are 17, 18-year-old kids in that locker room preparing for the championship game, I think people in Western Pennsylvania take their football very seriously, and both teams want to win this game in a big way. Indeed, they take it very seriously here, and I don't want to make it sound like the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, but there is a lot of tradition and pageantry with these championship high school football games, and to cover that aspect of our broadcast tonight, we go down somewhere on the sidelines at Three Rivers to Lynn Cullen. Lynn?
Yeah, right here, Stan. Listen, nobody gave me a job title, so I've given myself one. I'm the spectator commentator, and what that means, folks, is while Jack and Stan will be bringing you all the action on the field, I'm going to be bringing you all the action in the stands and around the field. So rest assured you're not going to miss a thing. I'm Lynn Cullen, your spectator commentator. Back to you guys.
Okay, thanks very much, Lynn. Jack, everyone knows about North Hills. They are undefeated. They're ranked #1 in USA Today. Certainly the pressure of winning is squarely on their shoulders.
Well, if I posed that question to Coach Jack McCurry earlier in the week, and he just feels it really be to his advantage. It's the 3rd time in the championship game. A lot of seniors on his football team. He feels they'll handle the pressure very well. They're composed. They're up for this football game, but they're really going at like a really business-like attitude.
Now, North Hills certainly has been the hallmark of high school football excellence in the area, certainly in 1987. And to take a look at the North Hills Indians, undefeated North Hills Indians, Bill Hillgrove looks at North Hills High School.
Most high school football teams worry about having a winning season or advancing in the playoffs. For the North Hills Fighting Indians, the worry this year has been unique. How to stay #1. That's #1 in the nation. As important as #1 may be, it's not the most important thing for North Hills this week.
We had 5 or 6 of them start as sophomores, and they're now seniors, and they've been to the stadium twice. This will be the 3rd trip, and we haven't won it yet. So we want to win the title outright.
It means a lot to us. We work hard every week for every game, and this one's real special to us because we lost last year, and we just want to regain the title back.
The Indians have remained unbeaten this year by scoring 386 points to the opposition's 20 points. And those 20 points were not scored on North Hills' #1 defensive unit.
We have a lot of boys that's played a lot of football for the past 3 and 4 years. Some of these boys are 4-year starters. And I think it's their recognition and ability to make big plays that's kept us from being scored on.
Yeah, it's always a matter of pride, trying to get as many shutouts as possible. A lot of teams, take pride in their offensive achievements, but people want to play offense. Here, they want to play defense more than offense.
We're #1. Not too many squads ever get a chance to say that and say it with meaning. But North Hills indeed has been #1 all season long, according to the USA Today, #1 in the nation. And it's a feeling not only shared by the coaching staff and the players, but also by the school district and the community at large here in the North Hills.
I think it's helped encourage a real sense of pride and a recognition of pride in the work of our kids and the work of our staff. I think it's been a real important element in trying to get people in our district to realize just how good our kids are in all areas.
If he's not the Indians' #1 fan, he's close. Tavern owner Jim Bink says he's going to enjoy number 1 while it lasts.
They're losing a lot of their regulars, but there's a lot of young people coming up, and maybe next year might not be as well, but the year after they'll be back up there again.
All of that number 1 hype for North Hills won't mean a thing if the Indians and their fans can't hold up the index finger tomorrow morning. Stan?
Jack McCurry disappointed certainly last year when he lost the title game to Gateway, but he hopes to get the championship back to North Hills tonight. Jack, North Hills has some great offensive weaponry, but undoubtedly the key to their football team is their defense.
There's no question about it. It's a smothering type defense. It's a very aggressive type defense, and they'll come after you, play in and play out. I think what Mount Lebanon has to do, they got to open it up and use the aggressiveness to their advantage. Quick traps inside, try to bust some people loose, and also widen the field and get the ball out to Danny Prunzik, their wide receiver. He's the big play guy for them. If he gets the ball in his hands, he can make some big plays for Mount Lebanon.
Well, everyone says that Mount Lebanon has nothing to lose. They are coming in as an underdog, but remember they gave North Hills a very difficult game, 14-0 in the regular season, and that game was scoreless at the end of 3 quarters. There's another element here. Art Walker, one of the great high school coaches in Western Pennsylvania, will call it quits after tonight after 21 years, and that should be an additional motivating factor for Mount Lebanon High School.
Eight nights ago in the snow, Woodland Hills lined up to play Mount Lebanon in the WPIAL Quad A semifinals. There was talk on the Wolverine sidelines about beating the rich kids from Lebo, and the noise grew louder as Woodland Hills built a 20-6 lead. But you hear that sort of thing all the time about Mount Lebanon. It is one of the more affluent suburbs of Pittsburgh, a school district that seems to have everything, including a history of athletic success in many sports. The Blue Devils came back to beat Woodland Hills and suddenly take on a new role tonight. That is the underdog, an even sentimental favorite. For not only are they playing the top high school football team in America, the North Hills Indians, it's also the last game for Coach Art Walker, one of the grandest guys to ever weather the storm on the sidelines of high school football.
Hey, it's for them. It's not me, it's them. They just played a great game.
Mr. Walker, he says this is us, but that second half was for him. I know it was. All them players reached down a little bit more. They just gave a little extra effort for him out.
Most high school athletes develop close ties with their coach, but it's not just the kids that are going to play in Three Rivers Stadium tonight that like Art Walker. Whether you walk through the halls of Mount Lebanon High School or into the local watering holes in Mount Lebanon, everybody has a good word for the coach.
We want to win this game so much for Mr. Walker, and the players are so excited. And that's what's going to make us number 1, because we're going to win, and half it, almost all is going to be for Mr. Walker.
Yeah, because he's an excellent coach. It's going to be like really a change next year.
And at Atria's Bar and Restaurant, the locals gather to talk sports and toast the man who has helped make their conversations more interesting.
Oh, it's a big thing. Like I said, everybody's kid has played for Art one time or the other. Everybody's kid's pictures on the wall in here at Atria's. Everybody's enthusiastic. You see the regalia here.
Everybody gets hyped up over it. It's just like, you know, when the Pirates won the pennant, when the Steelers won the championship. Everybody gets involved.
Walker himself would be the last to claim any credit for the Blue Devils' success. For many people, make this a good football program. But wins and losses aren't even the things Walker remembers most about his 21 years at Mount Lebanon.
After you're in coaching for a while, the real gratification is seeing those young men come back as doctors and lawyers and businessmen, good citizens, and really see them do well in life, and that's really the gratification of it all.
It's a tough one tonight. We'd love to see Walker go out a winner, and we'd also love to see North Hills finish as the top high school team in America. Before we go back to you, Stan and Jack, though, we do have the official pick.
Mr. Saturday Night Picks, 16-14, Mount Lebanon. Bet it.
I've created a monster. My Mr. Monday Night is in on 11 Monday night games in a row. Now there's a Mr. Saturday Night. There'll be a Mr. Expert for every night of the week, every month of the year, everything else. With us now to offer his expert analysis is Pete Anamarino, longtime head coach at Gateway High School. Certainly has a lot of experience in this championship game and playing against these two teams. Pete, first of all, what does Mount Lebanon have to do to be in this game and to win this ball game against North Hills?
Okay, they've got to continue to play this defense the way they played the first game. They got to hit the gaps. They got to put an 8-man front up there. They've got to blitz on occasions and keep North Hills off balance. They're very quick, So I look for Mount Lebanon to do a real good job. But they got to play 4 quarters this game rather than 3 quarters like the last game against North Hills.
All right, obviously when Mount Lebanon stunted a great deal on defense in the regular game, certainly Jack McCurry has seen that. What does North Hills have to do to win this ball game? Just play their game?
Right, they got to run right at them. My experience with playing against a blitzing team is the North Hills has the people up front. Now they've got to run right at them and take away the blitzes, then occasionally hit outside. But they've got to run right at the Mount Pleasant defense, or Mount Lebanon defense.
Pete, they played a couple of weeks ago. Which team has improved the most since that time for this championship game?
Well, according to Art Walker, Mount Lebanon has really improved. Their offense has gelled. They've scored some points in the last 2 playoff games. So I look for Mount Lebanon. Their offensive line cannot be denied. They have a nice size offensive line. So I look for them possibly to put some points on the board. But North Hills cannot be denied. They're mythical champs. They've been there before. They got the poise and the confidence and experience. So you got to go with North Hills all the way.
A game like this, playing for the second time, which team has the advantage?
Definitely. They've been here before the last 2 years. And I tell you, they got a lot of spark, a lot of enthusiasm. And I just feel that North Hills has it all the way this year.
Pete, is there any possibility North Hills in the first half has run up scores 259-0 in the first halves of their 12 game? They're going to have to play 4 quarters tonight. Is there any possibility they're so used to winning and winning easily that they may be surprised by Mount Lebanon?
No, I don't think so. North Hills is going to continue to do the same thing. They've beaten their opponents in the first half all the way through, and I don't see any reason why they shouldn't do it again tonight.
If you were Art Walker, knowing full well you're going to have tough time pounding it out up the middle, would you try to use Prunsick as much as possible, being fully aware that Jack McCurry is aware of Prunsick as well?
Right, here's what they got to do. They got to hit inside occasionally with some quick hitters with Smith. Now, Clements, the pivotal man in this offense is Clements. He's got to be able to sprint out, run the option, and then hit Prunsick on those short passes to keep them off balance. They're not going to get deep on North Hills. They're going to peck away at them.
Okay, Pete, thanks a lot. We'll talk to you again at halftime and see how the first half of football goes. We've got a lot for you on the pregame show before we get to the kickoff of the Quad A Championship. Coming up next, the scores of the other WPIAL Championship games played earlier at Three Rivers Stadium. This is the Battle of the Best on WTAE.
Choose from the full line of Daly's cocktail mixes at your favorite store.
There have been dramatic changes in transmission design, and marriage with computer technology has changed the way they're repaired. Scuro Transmission has kept pace with these changes and offers expert service, as it has for 40 years, to thousands of satisfied customers. Scuro employs the largest staff of trained technicians in the area, and their combined knowledge assures you the best service available. Check the yellow pages for our 6 locations. High-tech design has changed transmission repair, and at Scuro, we're ready for it.
Welcome back to Three Rivers Stadium. Tonight's ball game, the Quad A Championship, was not the only ball game in town. 3 other championships were decided today. First of all, in the Class A Championship, Wilmington defeated Monaca 14-7. So congratulations to Wilmington. In the Double A, played this afternoon, Stowe Rock shuts out Elwood City 19-0. And in a game just concluded, the Triple A Championship, Aliquippa wins it again. They defeat Newcastle 26-14, although Newcastle led most of the way. High school football involves more than just the teams, the cheerleaders, the bands. It involves entire communities. The followings we see down here, Jack, are truly amazing. Lynn Cullen is down at the sideline to look at not only community, but narrowing it down to a family that follows their team wherever they go. Lynn?
Thanks, Dan. You know, for every player on the field, there are 2 proud parents back there in the stands. And for a big game like this, you can probably add, all things being relative, you understand, proud grandparents, proud brothers and sisters, aunts, uncles, second cousins 5 times removed. The fact of the matter is high school football is a family affair. And I found that out in no uncertain terms on a recent frigid Friday night in the North Hills. Westinghouse exec Alan Cagle's coming home early this night because it's a Friday night. And Friday night means football in the North Hills.
Come on, let's hurry up.
I'm ready.
There's no reserved seats at this game.
The Cagle couple is nuts about North Hills football because the Cagle couple contributed one of the team's tackles, senior Brian Cagle. Number 76 on the field, number 1 in their hearts.
Let's go.
The whole Cagle clan turns out for the games. Mom and Dad, brother Tim, and 81-year-old grandfather Joe.
To get my blanket for.
He has never missed a game, and he stays to the bitter end even when he's freezing.
Despite bone-chilling, below-freezing temperatures, the Cagles arrive at the stadium early. Good and early.
Only North Hills fans will get here this early.
In fact, no one else is here as the Cagles take their icy seats in an empty stadium and wait for the fun to begin.
Well, we got to start yelling. I'm getting cold.
And yell they do with plenty of reason as the score builds up against yet another hapless and seemingly helpless opponent.
Yes, sir!
I used to laugh at those people who went out and sat in the snow and watched football and said, why would they do that? And now I'm one of those crazy fanatics.
It's another North Hills rout, and the Cagles in the stands are as pumped up as the Cagle on the field, although the Cagles in the stands are decidedly cooler about it.
Oh, is it cold? Yeah. My hands are getting numb.
Brian Cagle, though, is actually sweating in this sub-freezing weather because Brian Cagle, playing both offense and defense, is almost always on the move. And finally, after all the confetti and most of the snow has fallen and yet another North Hills opponent has fallen, the victorious Cagles cheer their victorious team, although understandably reserving a little extra spirit for 76, the Cagles' own spirit of 76. One part of one team judged to be the one in the nation.
I think they feel really good about their achievements.
Nice game. Nice game, guys.
Yep, they are wild about football, crazy about football, I should say, in the North Hills. I also should tell you that before that game, when we were at the Cagles' home, Mrs. Cagle asked her youngest son, Tim, what do you think the score is going to be? 28-0, he said, without blinking an eye. Well, about 5 hours later, when we looked up at the scoreboard, sure enough, 28-0. Tim Cagle has taken to calling himself Timmy the Greek, I hear. And I don't know what Timmy the Greek's saying about tonight's game, but you can bet he's saying that North Hills and his brother Brian are going to be the winners. Stan?
Thank you, Lynn. Great report. Someone's got to lose here, Mr. Saturday Night or the Swami Tim. Now, everyone's got to start somewhere. For example, I started doing high school games in Willoughby, Ohio, Lawton, Oklahoma. You know, and I got to Pittsburgh, do the Steelers. A lot of kids down this field are hoping to go on to a college career and a pro career. The dream, of course, to play one day in the National Football League. My partner and pal here certainly lived that dream from his high school days to go on to be a member of the 4 Super Bowl champions, All-Pro, and certain Hall of Fame status. But as you're about to see, how he ever made it to the NFL, I have no idea. Watch. If you've watched our Steeler preseason telecast, you know that one of our halftime features is entitled Jack Ham Remembers, where my partner recollects his former Super Bowl teammates and some revealing stories about those players and those teams. However, you may have also noticed that Jack conveniently eliminates himself from all these potentially embarrassing little vignettes. Well, for tonight's broadcast, I thought I'd change all that. I have here in my hot little hands the 1966 Johnstown Bishop McCourt High School yearbook. And guess who was a senior that year? Let's see now. Hahn, Hall, another Hall. Here he is, John Hamm. John Hamm, before he went big time, I guess. Isn't he cute? Here he is again, iron and steel. 180 pounds of Bishop McCourt crusher linebacker, and he played in the days of moving pictures. We take you back to the fall of 1965, and Bishop McCort High is playing Central Catholic. And where do we find our hero? On offense at left tackle, wearing number 66. Well, Central's number 77 runs over Jack like he's driving on Route 66. Bishop McCort's quarterback didn't talk to Ham for 2 weeks. But that's not really fair, because Jack made his reputation, and his millions, I might add, at linebacker. Notice how fiercely he pursues, epitomizing the desire and hustle that made him All-Pro. Now, I don't want you to get the impression that Jack never made a tackle. He did. Here he is at left outside linebacker, and he's in on this stop. Of course, it was 10 yards downfield, but he did make a tackle. After viewing the Jack Ham highlight film, you may be wondering, how did this guy ever get a scholarship to linebacker U? Well, I'm convinced head coach Albert Fletcher sent one piece of film to Penn State and one piece of film only. McCort blocks a field goal, and old number 66, eventually to become famous old number 59, runs it back to preserve a 14-14 tie.
Well, reviewing that film, I don't understand how Joe Paterno ever gave me a scholarship to Penn State. A lot of bad plays out there. We tried to get my partner Stan Severin's film, but all of his lowlights didn't make it in the mail, so we had to go with all mine.
Well, we conducted an extensive search for my high school film. Unfortunately, it was lost with the Dead Sea Scrolls. That's how old they were, and we couldn't come up with them. But I made at least as many good plays in a season as you did in one game. All right, we're just minutes away from the opening kickoff. We'll be back with the Battle of the Best on WTAE.
This is really getting big. They're coming by the thousands. Down to you, Kurt.
It seems this is the first store to have the new lemon lime slice with the great new taste.
How was it? Fantastic!
Listen, people, the new slice has more lemon lime taste than 7-Up and Sprite. We've got the juice.
Who gets the dance?
The new lemon lime slice. It's got a great new taste.
Think you'll have enough slice, Max?
Maybe. Maybe not.
You're almost there when you call. You're almost there when you call Allegheny Commuter.
There's something special cooking at Eden Park. Always has been.
The Battle of the Best, the 1987 Quad A Championship, live from Three Rivers Stadium, is being brought to you on WTAE TV by Mellon Bank, the bank that does what it takes to bring you quality banking. By Scuro Transmissions, we know what we're doing, and we're honest. By Allegheny Commuter, the world's most experienced commuter airline. By your neighborhood Pepsi-Cola bottler. Pepsi, the choice of a new generation. And by Daily Juice Products, who remind you that there's a Dailies treat for everyone. And by Eaton Park, where there's always something special cooking.
A beautiful night at Three Rivers Stadium. I'm Stan Severin, along with Jack Ham and Lynn Cullen. Welcome to the WPIAL Quad A Championship game between North Hills and Mount Lebanon. We got a beautiful night for football. It was supposed to rain, but Captain DiNardo says it's going to hold off until after midnight. 48 degrees, the wind could be a factor. Skies are cloudy, but again, the rain is supposed to hold off until this ball game is over with. So we got a pretty good night for high school football. Jack, I know you were a Steeler fan when you were a kid. If I would have said to you as a 17 or 18-year-old, you're going to come down and play on Three Rivers Stadium, or in those days, Pitt Stadium, where the Steelers play, I would imagine you'd have been beside yourself with excitement.
I'd have had my head in the clouds. I'd be looking around, and trying to get down to the Steeler locker room as well and try to take a look around. I mean, this is a great experience for these young kids out here. And the thing about it is a lot of these kids will go on and play college football, some major college football. But for a lot of the kids out there, this will be their last football game.
Jack, overall, there has been a lot of talk about, for example, a college football playoff. Some people are even against the playoff system in high schools. How about for the kids, 17, 18 years old? Does it put too much emphasis on winning, or is this really what it's all about?
Well, I think it's really what it's all about right now. I think it's, like I said, this is in Western Pennsylvania. This is a hotbed of high school football. It's always been that way. Had great traditions here. And I think it's great for the kids to come out and play in a situation like that. North Hills went up to their locker room. They've got tape on their locker room windows and everything. Their #1 rating by USA Today. And it's got a lot of pride. They've got a lot of experience right now. And I think it's really good for the kids. And also Mount Lebanon get a chance to rebound here, get an upset possibly, and try to knock off the #1 team in the country.
Jack, talking about a couple of key factors in the game, it's been pretty well documented that it's almost impossible to run the football at North Hill. You know that Jack McCurry is very worried about wide receiver Dan Prunzik. In the championship game that got him here against Woodland Hills, Prunzik scored 3 touchdowns, 2 touchdown catches. He ran for another touchdown. He's got 7 touchdowns on the year, despite the fact he missed most of it with an injury. McCurry has designed some defenses to stop Dan Prunzik specifically.
I think talking to both coaches, they know exactly what's going to take to win the football game. On Mount Lebanon's side, Art Walker is saying, I've got to get the football to Danny Prunzik's hands in the flat, on quick post patterns, whatever to get him the football, because I know I can't run the football. No sense trying to go up against a battering ram, a wall like North Hills has defensively. He's going to try to spread him out a little bit, open him up. And on the other side of the coin, McCurry's going to try to double-team Danny Prunzik. He feels if we double-team with a linebacker in front of him, jam him a little bit, double-team him with a safety, take him out of the football game. He said Danny Prunzik will not beat us. It'll take big plays from someone else on Mount Lebanon's football team for them to beat North Hills.
So then the spotlight certainly turns to tailback Pat Smith, who is the leading rusher for Mount Lebanon. The players are gathered with the officials for the toss of the coin. You were looking at Dan Prunzik a bit earlier. And North Hills has elected to receive. Mount Lebanon will kick off from left to right. So North Hills on offense for the first time around. Jack McCurry, the head coach, last year in an exciting and as thrilling a high school championship game as you'd ever want to see. Lost to Gateway 7-6, went for the 2-point conversion with no time remaining on the clock, did not convert, and they missed the Quad A championship by a point. So Jack McCurry wants to get that title tonight to cap off a perfect season. They are 12-0. North Hills has allowed only 20 points all year long, and those 20 points allowed by the second-team defense.
And when I talked to Jack McCurry, he said he'll be very patient. This is a running football team. They love to run the football in different formations. He'll be very patient. He said, I'm not afraid of punting the football 7-8 times. He knows he's got a great defense. Let them win the football game. I mean, he's not going to put an offense in trouble where they may give up a turnover or a big play.
High school football quarters, in case you are not familiar with high school football, the quarters are 12 minutes long. Basically the rules more along the college lines and the pro lines. Pete Banaszak will be kicking off for Mount Lebanon, number 23, and back deep, number 33, Drain Hitchcock, and number 84, Chris Caesar. Jack, I know you've been impressed with Caesar. He's just a great all-around athlete.
Well, in the game they played at Mount Lebanon Stadium a couple of weeks ago, he made all the big plays. He knocked the football loose from Pat Smith about down on the 10-yard line of North Hills, came up with a key interception. He's a great athlete, probably the best football player and best athlete on the field.
All right, number 84 is Caesar on the near side. On the far side, it is Dwayne Hitchcock. He is the leading rusher, 888 yards for North Hills, averaging 6.6 per carry. The rushing averages for the North Hills offense, the 4 starters in the backfield, 5.6 per carry, 6.5 per carry, 6.6 per carry, and 7.9 per carry. You can get some first downs that way. Pretty tough to stop them that way. This is Banaszak set to kick off from the 40. The Quad A championship is underway. Short kick coming to Carey at 15. And Carey across the 30 and out to the 32-yard line, where North Hills will start out first down and 10. In on the tackle, Scott Teeters, an inside linebacker from Mount Lebanon. Jack, a very active linebacker and a very good player. Had a big game against North Hills in the regular season meeting.
Yeah, 3 or 4 tackles in the backfield, 4 losses against North Hills in that game.
Here's the offensive lineup for North Hills. Across the front, Cagle, Hoffman, Stanton, and Lasky. Korajeski at 1 tackle. They line up in a wishbone formation. Greg Morris is the quarterback. but he's more likely to run than throw. There he goes. And he's caught from behind and dropped for a loss inside the 30-yard line by Brad Barton, the nose tackle. Barton, the junior, 5'11", 198 pounds, comes in and throws Morris for a 3-yard loss.
Brad Barton, he's playing right on the nose. A lot of misdirection. He just comes down the line of scrimmage. You can't see him come down the line of scrimmage right now on the backside. A lot of times with containment to the outside, a nose tackle coming down with that kind of quickness will make a lot of plays when the running back turns back in.
North Hills has thrown less than an average of 4 passes per game. Morris 22 out of 44. Here's the counter play to Hitchcock, and he's in the backfield and dropped for a loss back to the 26. This time Hitchcock, lined up as a wing back on the counter, is dropped for 4-yard loss again by Barton, the nose man. So the Mount Lebanon defense has now thrown North Hills for 6-yard losses on 2 plays. Jason Beatty, Clements at 1 tackle. Barton, who started the year as a defensive tackle, moves over to the nose. Hoffman and Pellegrino, a 2-way player at right defensive end. The linebackers are one of the keys, primarily Teeters. It is 3rd down and 16. Hitchcock in trouble. He's dropped for another loss back to the 25-yard line. So on North Hills' first possession, Jack, North Hills loses 7 yards on 3 plays.
Well, Mike Hoffman came in from his defensive tackle position. He came down the line. What they're trying to do right now is get penetration. You see Hoffman, number 66, from the backside. They get good containment on the outside by George Fector. That's good defense by Mount Lebanon to start the football game, and they're getting penetration on those misdirection plays by North Hills.
Pat Smith and Dan Prunzik back deep for Mount Lebanon. The snapback on the punt, fair catch called for, and it is taken at the 40-yard line. Dan Prunzik makes the fair catch, a 35-yard punt, and no return. With 9:34 left in the first quarter, we are scoreless. This is the Battle of the Best on WTAE TV.
Almost there when you call Allegheny Commuter.
The WPIAL retains all rights of this broadcast. The telecast of this game is intended exclusively for the benefit of WTAE TV's audience. Any recording or reproduction of the broadcast is expressly prohibited without prior written consent of the WPIAL. Mount Lebanon quite successful defensively. Jack, were they stunning the linebackers as much as they did in the first game against North Hills?
They brought their linebackers scraping a lot, Scott Teeters a lot of time, but right then it was a nose tackle doing all the work for Mount Lebanon on the play, getting penetration in the backfield.
All right, Mount Lebanon, Scott Clemens looking to throw, and he's hit and he's dropped back at the 36-yard line. Coming in to make the play was Mark Lasky, the defensive end, a junior, 6'2", 220. But in essence, Jack, that was a coverage sack. Clemens had time to throw.
Well, they're trying to get it in motion. Spread the defense out. You see him pump fake. He's trying to go to Prunzik in the slot. He's not there. And he's trying to come off. Good defense. They took Prunzik out of the play for him. And Scott Clemens did not know where to go with the football. And finally, the rush got to. It really was exactly right. A coverage sack, which really cost the play.
Clemens has thrown well this year, completing 62 out of 143 for 15 touchdowns. 2nd down, 14. Pat Smith gets back to the original line of scrimmage, the 40, a gain of 4 to bring up 3rd down and 10. Pat Smith is Mount Lebanon's leading rusher. He's a senior, 951 yards this year, 5.4 per carry, and 11 touchdowns. Here's the Mount Lebanon backfield, Pat Smith, John Donahue, Casey Hackathorn, the fullback, and Dan Prunzik is the wideout. Again, he's the man to watch with 24 receptions this year. Most impressively for a high school kid or anywhere, Jack, Prunzik averaging 22.5 yards per reception.
Legit 4.5 speed in a 40-yard dash.
Watch him now. It is 3rd down and 10. In the flat, incomplete. The pass intended for the tight end, Rob Shear. Coverage on the play for North Hills, and that'll force a punting situation for both teams. 3 downs and out initially.
I think right now they're just trying to feel each other out right now. North Hills got nothing out of their running game in their first series. You see what Mount Lebanon's going to try to do against that defense by throwing the football into the flat and trying to widen the field on North Hills. They're going to play for a break. That's why North Hills feel they can punt the ball 8 or 9 times and still win a football game.
Quarterback Scott Clements will kick. Caesar and T.J. Schmidt back deep. He's kind of wobbly. Takes him out Lebanon bounce, and Caesar has to let it go, and it is down. Initially touched at the 23-yard line. Well, both teams with an opportunity to move. 3 downs and out. We've got 8:10 to play in the first quarter. We are scoreless. Time now for a WPIAL flashback. Last year, North Hills versus Gateway. Gateway leads 7-6, but North Hills goes for a 2-point conversion to win. The pass is tipped and intercepted by Gateway's Todd Washington as time runs out. Gateway holds on for the Quad A championship.
You're never too old, you're never too young. There's a Daly's treat for everyone. Fresh fruit flavors as good as can be, loaded with tons of vitamin C. Wherever you are and whatever you're doing, Daly's has a flavor just right for you. And what are you waiting for? Who could deserve it more? Treat yourself to the fun. There's a Daly's treat for everyone.
The special gift you get this Christmas lasts all year long. Merry Christmas from Eaton Park.
Undoubtedly, North Hills coach Jack McCurry pointed his offense in the right direction, said the goal line's that way because the first 3 plays, Jack, -7 yards on 3 plays. Certainly North Hills not used to that. We've got here a double wing setup. Single setback, Morris keeps. And he's not going to get much of anything. A couple out across the 25-yard line. Tackle made again by Brad Barton, who's had a strong game as far, as well as strong safety Pat Smith. Well, 2nd down and 8.
Greg Morris is just like a running back. All he does is hand the football off at times. He will run the quarterback sweep. Does not throw the football all that much. He's got good quickness. Has turned the corner on a lot of teams going to the weak side with that sweep.
Morris, number 22, the 2nd leading rusher for North Hills. 2nd down, 8. Option. Pat Carey dropped for a loss behind the line of scrimmage. Matt Smith, the free safety, a junior, 6'3", 175, read it beautifully, and there was penetration, Jack, and the one thing that always destroys an option play is penetration.
Well, I'll tell you, the option coming right down the line of scrimmage. You see Pat Smith has the containment on the play. Rob Shear from the inside gets the cutback area. Should he turn back inside? Good sound defense by Mount Lebanon on the outside option play.
All right, 3rd down and 9. Again, Mount Lebanon playing very tough against the run, and that's what you have to do. Schmidt short motion. Here's the counter to Hitchcock, and Hitchcock is across the 30, the 31. It's a gain of 6 yards, but well shy of the first down. And 3 downs and out. North Hills will be forced to punt. Rob Shear, the initial hit, and his mate at inside linebacker Teeters cleans up, number 58.
It's a counter play with Hitchcock carrying the football, and a counter with Hitchcock in motion. Like I said, Mount Lebanon has played this team before, played them tough for 3 quarters. Really, the breaks and the turnovers cost them the football game a couple of weeks ago, and they're playing strong here in the first half.
Jason Bender, who also does the place kicking, will punt. Pat Smith and Dan Prunzik back deep for Mount Lebanon. Pretty good kick. Smith lets it roll. Prunzik picks it up, and he's going to be dropped at the 28-yard line. A 41-yard kick with a minus return, so a good roll for North Hills. And Prunzik probably saved another 10 yards albeit a dangerous play by picking it up.
That ball, when it bounced on artificial turf, you'd like to get a lot of those punts, and Prunzik is very confident in catching the football. It was a low kick. He could not get to it. Finally got to it on one bounce. But this game is going to be played very conservatively on both sides of the football, and field position on punts are going to be a key factor because you can make up a lot of yards on it, and it could be a 3-0, 7-0 football game due to field position on special teams.
Dave Helen made the tackle on special teams. Pat Smith going nowhere, a yard to the 30-yard line. Make that John Donahue, excuse me. John Donahue, a junior, averaging 5.2 yards per carry. Let's take a look at that North Hills defensive line. Ryan Cagle, Jim Lash, Gary Gorojewski, and Mark Ellermeyer.
And Jim Lash weighs 270-plus pounds. He's listed at 270. I asked Coach Jack McCurry, and he said it's around 288 pounds. That's big for any league.
There's Eric Renke, the all-everything. He's a great football player, perhaps totally healthy for the first time this year. Second down 9, Mount Lebanon at their own 30, scoreless.
Front row.
Clements. He's hit, and he's going to be dropped for a loss at the 29-yard line. Clements will scramble. He likes to scramble, but he could not get away from linebacker Dave Helen, number 23, the senior, 5'10", 165 pounds. Help in there also from Jason Bender.
Here you see Danny Prunzik trying to go down. You think he's open right now. You see the deep coverage on him downfield by J.T. Schmidt on deep. He is covered, and Clemens has nowhere to go with the football. They want to get the ball to him right now. North Hills knows it. So far in the first quarter, they have covered Prunzik very well.
Of course, that's a pretty tight angle, Jack, but we did not see the double coverage we expected.
Well, he may have some underneath jamming, trying to jam Prunzik a little bit on the play.
Delay to Pat Smith, tripped up, and he gets out to the 34-yard line. Had he been able to keep his feet, he might have had a shot at the first down. As it is, Doug Dickman made the tackle, number 44, the senior, and it'll force Mount Lebanon to punt once again.
All they're trying to do is get a little delayed draw up the middle. Right here, you see a missed tackle. Triple gets really tripped up by Doug Dickman, who's in the lineup because Tom Cohen is out with a bad knee. Hurt his knee in the playoff game, so Doug Dickman takes the starting spot and just does trip up the running back and stop him short of the first down.
All right, Clemens will punt. Schmidt and Caesar stand inside their 40-yard line awaiting the kick. It's short. Caesar, a half-hearted fair catch signal, but the referee understands the signal, and North Hills will start out in good shape at their own 43-yard line. A 21-yard kick, no return, of course, on the fair catch. 4:01 to play in a scoreless football game. This is the Battle of the Best on WTAE TV.
There have been dramatic changes in transmission design, and marriage with computer technology has changed the way they're repaired. Scuro Transmission has kept pace with these changes and offers expert service, as it has for 40 years, to thousands of satisfied customers. Scuro employs the largest staff of trained technicians in the area, and their combined knowledge assures you the best service available. Check the yellow pages for our 6 locations. High-tech design has changed transmission repair, and at Scuro, we're ready for it.
4:01 to play in the first quarter. A reminder that coming up at halftime, Lynn Cullen will find out what the fans think of the first half. We'll take a look and listen to both schools' bands and Guy Junker as the wrap on the other 3 championship games played this afternoon here at Three River Stadium. All that coming up. North Hills with their 3rd possession. Neither team has been able to pick up a first down. But this time, the Indians at their own 43-yard line. Greg Morris, number 22, the quarterback. Lone setback this time is T.J. Schmidt. Now carry as Schmidt goes out on a wing. Inside handoff and out to the 49-yard line as Scott Teeters makes the tackle on Pat Carey, the fullback, number 20.
Stan, what North Hills is doing offensively right now, they've taken their guards and put them out at tackle, and taken their tackles and put them at guard. They want to get the quicker people on the defensive tackles of Mount Lebanon because they stunt so much into the backfield. They need their quicker guys on the quicker defensive tackles of Mount Lebanon.
Right, so the North Hills guards are playing tackles and vice versa. 2nd down and 4 out of the wishbone formation. Morris Down the line option, and Morris has got the game's initial first down at the Mount Lebanon 44-yard line. Rob Shearer makes the tackle. Now, down in the stands to Lynn Cullen. Lynn?
Got another family here to prove it. Bill Langer Sr., your son is?
Bill Langer the third.
And he is number?
Number 55.
You come to all the games?
Every game.
Now, there are a lot of Langers here, right? Can we identify them somehow?
Stand up.
Langers, stand up. Look at this. Those are all the proud Langer family watching the game. Back to you.
Thank you, Lynn. Morris on the keeper inside of the 41-yard line, and a gain of 3 is Brad Barton coming off the nose to make the tackle. Morris stopped for a gain of 3 to bring up 2nd down and 7.
Stand on a lot of options that teams try to run. You want to make the quarterback carry the football as much as you can. In this situation with North Hills, Morris being a halfback, and they run the football so much, it doesn't matter. He's a quick running back, a good athlete, plays some defense at times and prevent situations. So he loves carrying the football and turned it up again that time for about 3 yards.
2.5 to play. Scoreless first quarter. 2nd down and 7. Straight hand off to Carey, and Carey breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage and gets to the 38-yard line for a gain of 3 to bring up 3rd down and 4 again. It is Barton making the tackle. Jack, I would imagine with the tackles now playing guard, they can wedge out because they're bigger.
Well, when North Hills does that and puts their smaller people with tackle, now the bigger people are inside at guard, and they try to go straight ahead. It's a chess game they're playing right now with Art Walker's defense. He knows he can't match up physically. He's got to stunt and do a lot of different things.
An important play here. 3rd down and 4. Morris keeps, and he's brought down at the line of scrimmage. Mount Lebanon strings out the play very nicely, and Morris, if anything, loses a half a yard. Jason Beatty, defensive end, 6'4", 225, a senior, makes the tackle with help from strong safety Pat Smith.
Well, it's Jason Beatty, an outstanding play. Trying to get chopped at the line of scrimmage. He kept his feet like a good athlete, came down the line and made the play. A lot of colleges are looking at him. He's a top-notch player and should be heavily recruited by a lot of colleges this year.
All right, Jason Bender back to punt. He'll be looking to kick it out of bounds inside the 15-yard line if he can. Kicks it straight away. Fair catch called for and taken just outside the 10-yard line by Dan Prunzik. That's a 29-yard kick. 1:12 to play in the first quarter. Certainly, Jack, with North Hills defense, they are willing to play a game of field position and special teams because sooner or later they're going to hurt you, or at least they have up until now.
Well, the punt before that was a 42-yard punt that Prunzik had a hand on the sidelines. They stop him in 3 plays again. Driving back to the 10-yard line. They're so confident in defense, they feel 3 points is enough. 7 points is a luxury.
It's wide at Donahue, and Donahue is out to the 15-yard line for a gain of nearly 5 to bring up 2nd and a long 5.
Eric Renke, the inside linebacker, and he is a top-notch linebacker, and he's going to go to a major school. There's no question about it. Also, over 1,300 in his college boards. It's a lot more than you got, I think, Stan. He came down the line, and he made that tackle. 240 pounds running down a field like that. Excellent speed, excellent quickness.
The only boards I got in college I stole from the library. They were lying in a pile outside. 2nd down and a handoff inside, this time to Smith. And Smith gains a couple out to the 17-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and nearly 4 for the first down. Eric Renke, the young man we were just talking about, he's a senior, 6'3", 240 pounds. Has been hurt most of the year, has had a shoulder problem, still does a little bit.
Here's a little counter play. They're trying to run inside. Just people coming. Doug Dickman read it perfectly and got penetration. Did not get blocked by the tackle trying to come down him. That's the misdirection. They're trying to run against North Hills. They get the linebackers moving one direction and come back. We got somebody hurt down in the field, but a good play trying to run inside by Doug Dickman.
Jim Lash down on the field, as Jack said. He's probably closer to 280 pounds. Had played primarily offense, but was switched over to defense in the last couple of weeks. On that play, Jack, is that an influence play? Are they trying to hoping that the inside linebacker follows the guard and vacates the spot naturally?
All they're hoping for is that linebacker take one false step one way. If he does that, it makes the block that much easier for the lineman coming off him. He did not take the fake. When he came up to the line of scrimmage, the blocker could not get to him, and he made the play. I'm sure a lot of teams have tried to run any kind of counter plays against North Hills. They're so devastating defensively, such an aggressive defense. Those are the plays you've got to use against the North Hills.
We're going to take a look again and see what happened to Jim Lash, the big junior for North Hills.
You see him getting trapped right now to his right.
To the left of your screen, there he is, number 77. in red. Let's see if we see him go down here at all. Well, there he goes. Ooh.
Well, he gets bent over backwards.
Yeah.
Jake Gosson bent Lash over backwards and got his feet tangled up. He's down on the ground in the 15-yard line. One thing you don't want is last game of the season for a lot of these guys, you don't want to get anybody banged up and get hurt. And usually in a tough football game like this, normally there aren't very many injuries.
Jack, North Hills does not play on artificial turf. Certainly they have. It's not their home turf. Mount Lebanon it is. In looking at the replay of that play, is that an artificial turf injury?
Well, I think so, because you got your leg caught underneath a pile like that, and you, in close quarters, and your leg does not move at all on an artificial turf. It's very your traction is so good. Although it's starting to rain a little bit, we may make it a little bit slicker here as the game goes on. But when you get your leg caught like that with no movement at all, that's when you get your leg tangled up, and it would have given a little bit more on a natural grass surface.
All right, let's watch it again. Number 77. Lash to the right of your screen. There's the trap block.
He's taking on the trap. He's trying to take it on. He's a little bit high right now. He gets bent over, and you see his leg buckling right now and going down. One thing he should try to do, even though he's a big man at over 270 pounds, you try to take on a trapping guy a little bit lower. He got high coming off the line of scrimmage, and Jake Gosson really got into him. And Jake Gosson's only 205 pounds, but he was running like 3 or 4 yards on that trap to hit Lash, and when he's that high like he was, he got bent over backwards.
One of the things that happens to young defensive linemen, and especially kids that are big for their age, is to play the game low. There's a natural tendency when the ball snapped, you come up high, and the coaches scream at you, stay low. You can't play the game high, because if you're standing straight up, you're giving the offensive blocker your entire body surface to work with.
You're right. Your blocking target is that much larger. You can get blocked so much easier. And not only high school kids, but college and pros sometimes make the same mistakes when they come through free across the line of scrimmage.
Big play here, a 3rd and 4, and we have a timeout. Quarterback Scotty Clements calls for the timeout. This first down would give Mount Lebanon some operating room. Only 12 seconds to play in the first quarter. A scoreless first quarter if you're just joining us. Mount Lebanon and North Hills. Notice I talk all this football, but I didn't come up with my high school films.
I was going to say, if everybody saw my highlights before the game started, I never got in any kind of pile-ups like that. I was so far away from the plays all the time, I couldn't get hurt.
Actually, my excuse is they hadn't invented film, certainly not video, back when I played high school football. But I was happy to hear that you've been telling me for all this time we've worked together, you're 2 years younger than I am, yet you graduated from high school only a year after I did. Now, what's the story on that?
Wait a second. You are over 40, right?
No. Not only was I a bad high school football player, I also learned how to lie in the last couple of years. Mount Lebanon calls the timeout at the line of scrimmage, facing a 3rd down and 3 1/2. And let's go down to Lynn Cullen and find out about what's happened to Jim Lash. Third down, 3 1/2. The pitch wide to Donahue, and he's very close to the first down. Make it the 20.5-yard line is where he had to go, and that's pretty much where they mark him down. Doug Dickman made the tackle. They're going to have to measure.
Good block by Beatty, knocked the support outside, and Donahue takes the football. But Stan, an interesting thing happened before that play. During the timeout, Art Walker came on the field into the huddle of the Mount Lebanon offense, talked to the players, and then went off the field and see if they got the first down on the play by Donahue.
All right, they are measuring for the first down. And they are short by an inch. So Art Walker's got a decision to make when we begin the second quarter. That's the end of the first quarter. The score, North Hills nothing and Mount Lebanon nothing. This is the Battle of the Best on WPIAL TV.
A special report from your world-class Ford dealers.
4 of the top 10 selling cars in America are Ford.
Escort is #1, plus Taurus, Tempo, and Mustang. And again this year, Ford's full-size pickups are America's #1 selling vehicle, topping even the Escort in total sales.
Ford is the people's choice, and your local world-class Ford dealer has 87 car and truck prices rolled down to rock bottom during our 1987 closeout sale.
Recommendation, buy Ford now.
See your local world-class Ford dealer.
Sometimes the price of a good time is
heartburn.
Fortunately, Gaviscon works like no other leading antacid to form a soothing barrier between you and heartburn. So if it works like a dream at night, Just imagine how it works during the day.
I've heard a lot of talk about calcium lately, but I just found out that doctors using Oscal showed that supplements can provide the calcium your body needs to help maintain strong bones.
Oscal, scientifically proven, doctor recommended.
Across 21 years, I wrote about 5,000 newspaper columns in Pittsburgh, and I loved it. Now I'm doing a talk show on WTAE, and I love that. I get a chance to interact with the listeners one-on-one, and you can't do that with a newspaper column. I've lived in Pittsburgh all my life because I never found a place I liked as well. I reflect the people of Pittsburgh, I think, because I'm just another Joe in the streets.
Listen to Phil Music, afternoons on News Talk 1250, the new WTAE.
As we begin the second quarter, it'll be 4th down and a couple of inches for a first down for Mount Lebanon, and Art Walker has a decision to make. Unfortunately, the news for Jim Lash in North Hills is not good. You saw the left knee. He's going to be taken off, obviously finished for the night. If we get a further update as to the complete damage of the injury and what may be done at this point, we certainly will let you know, but we're sorry to report that Jim Lash has the knee injury. 4th and inches, Mount Lebanon chooses to punt, but remember, the punter is Scott Clemens, the quarterback. He could do something, although with this field position, I tend to doubt it. Good rush, a very short kick, but a good roll for Mount Lebanon. Rolling near midfield. It'll be down at the Mount Lebanon 48-yard line. A 27-yard kick with no return, and for the first time, Mount Lebanon will have to defend in their own territory. Down to the sideline, let's talk to Lynn Cullen. Lynn?
Yes, Dan. Jim Lash is going into the locker room with the medical staff. They want to put ice on the knee. They don't seem terribly concerned. Jim is even laughing right now as he's being wheeled in. And in fact, they said they doubt if they'll be going to a hospital for x-rays. They just want to get ice on it.
Okay, thank you, Lynn. 1st and 10, North Hills at the Mount Lebanon 48-yard line, and the quick handoff inside the 45 and down near the 43-yard line. Rob Shear, one of the inside linebackers from Mount Lebanon, makes the tackle. It'll be 2nd down and 5.
It seems like on every punt, North Hills is gaining more and more yardage on Mount Lebanon. We said it's going to be a game of field position, and they'll play this game the entire way. So if they continue to get some more yardage like this, they'll get close to that goal line.
2nd and 5, again out of the wishbone formation. This is Hitchcock. And Hitchcock is inside the 40 and down to the 38-yard line and very close to the first down. Andy Pellegrino, the right defensive end, number 55, made the initial hit on the play.
And they are going inside right now with Hitchcock. This play, J.T. Schmidt that played before that, right at that Mount Lebanon defense with their big people up front. You see just Hitchcock getting the ball straight ahead, play right up the middle. He's a strong back at 185 pounds, the best back they probably have, breakaway type speed. He can also run inside as well, only a junior.
3rd down and a half-yard for the first down. Morris will keep. He's got the first down and plenty more. Inside the 30 and down to the 27-yard line. Greg Morris took a step back, a design play all the way, and picks up first down yardage to the 27. George Fector, the right corner, made the tackle for the Blue Devils.
Well, that offensive line, you see a gaping hole right up the middle. The 3rd time in a row with that offensive line is switching of positions in guard and tackle, taking it right up the middle. I'll tell you, it's a chess game between Art Walker and Jack McCurry. Right now, Jack McCurry is making the decisions right now, changing up a little bit and running inside on Mount Lebanon.
Morris now 20 yards on 6 carries, well below his average of 5.6. But the Indians have a first down. Inside handoff, and Hitchcock goes nowhere. Brad Barton, who's played a whale of a football game at nose tackle, makes the stop. We have a flag on the play after a gain of about a yard.
Brad, you're right. Brad Barton is playing an outstanding game. He really does not get blocked at all. Missed assignment by North Hills offensive lineman. When you come clean like that, you're going to make a play, and he takes Hitchcock down for no gain. Now the penalty.
A personal foul against North Hills.
When you're playing field position, 15 yards, when you are inside the other team's 30-yard line, it's really going to kill a team that loves to run the football. But penalties can kill a team that relies solely on the running game.
So it's going to be first down and very long yardage. And as you say, Jack, when you cut the field in half, when you get the football at the 48-yard line. You're talking about, in essence, 50% of the field right there.
It's a huge penalty. I'm sure Jack McCurry is not happy with that call at all when they get a 15-yard penalty for personal foul. When they had the momentum, they're moving the football right up the middle and really blowing Mount Lebanon off the ball initially up the middle and some good yards.
It's also a dead ball foul, so the down counts. It is 2nd down and 24 instead of 1st and 25. Pitch wide to Hitchcock, looking for a cutback. He will not get there. That's a great play by the corner, George Fector, number 24, 5'10", 177-pound senior.
I think the Mount Lebanon team has a real big advantage because they played this football team before. They are not awed by North Hills. And you see Hitchcock getting the football, trying to find a lane. There's nothing there at all. Great defense by Mount Lebanon. Finally, the corner, George Fector, on the containment, staying at home, being disciplined, brought down Hitchcock for about a 2 or 3 yard loss.
3rd down, nearly 26 to go. And again, North Hills averages less than 4 passes per game. End around to Caesar. He's in trouble. He gets back to the 41-yard line, and that is that. Again, it is Fector who stayed at home, did not bite, strung the play out, and now forces North Hills to punt once again. Jack, from North Hills' perspective, they're not used to this. I mean, they're used to just running up people. In the first halves of game alone this year, they outscored their opponents 259-0. What goes through a team's mind that is not used to being stuffed like this?
I think they realize that they played Mount Lebanon before, and they realized it was 0-0 going in the 4th quarter. They're going to be patient. They're going to run the football until they get a break. The penalty really hurt them right here. Now they're going to try to back them up in bad field position from Mount Lebanon, and that's a bad thing.
And that's a live ball. We're going to have a safety unless they rule it a live ball.
That could be a touchdown. That is a touchdown.
It's a touchdown. I thought they might rule it the man was down and call it a safety. But it is a touchdown, and Doug Dickman recovers the fumble for the North Hills touchdown.
It's a game of turnovers, and that touchdown may be enough for North Hills. First of all, Prunzik handles the football inside the 5-yard line. Should have knew he was on the field and let it go. It bounces off of Danny Prunzik, who usually has outstanding hands. It just goes right through his hands and bounces towards the goal line. Now when he gets back there, he's trying to pick that football up and get it out of the end zone. He looked like he had an opportunity, but that North Hills team right now, they're in the end zone pursuing Danny Prunzik. They bring him down. Boy, that's awfully close to him being down and knee touching down. It's a close call.
There's one thing we should mention, though, Jack. They apparently are going to call that a muff, not a fumble. And if it's a muff, in high school football, when the ball is in the end zone, it is an automatic touchdown. You may not bring it out if they call it a muff, which they have. Now, if that had been a fumble, it's a live ball. But because the football created the momentum into the end zone, it is going to be a touchback, no score on the play.
Well, what a big break from Mount Lebanon right here. Clearly, it is a muff because he never had control of the football. The ball really bounces off his right arm or right shoulder pad and then goes in. We see the tail end of it right here when he's got the football. And even there, it looks like he's almost down. It's a close call there. But he never had control of the ball at the 3-yard line. And when it went into the end zone, they're calling it a muff, and it's a correct call by the official. The ball comes back out to the 20-yard line. And here's going to be a discussion.
We've got 8:01, and we will have long discussions about this. 8:01 to play in the first half. We are scoreless between Mount Lebanon and North Hills. This is the Battle of the Best on WTAE TV.
Choose from the full line of Daly's cocktail mixes at your favorite store.
almost had a touchdown, but we are scoreless. 8:01 to play in the first half. Again, the key element to that play, Jack, is now what happened after Prunzik touched the ball. But as soon as he touched the ball, they ruled it was a muff. And in high school football, if the ball goes into the end zone on its own impetus, it is an automatic touchback. You may not run it out. Obviously, the North Hills fans were unhappy about that, but that is the rule in high school football. Hackathorn, the fullback, gains a yard, perhaps two, out near the 22-yard line. Brian Cagle, defensive tackle. He's a senior, 6'1", 235 pounds, and the subject of one of our pregame stories, makes the tackle.
When it was all said and done, Mount Lebanon really gained yardage on the play. They would have been backed up had Prunzik handled the football properly inside the 5-yard line. North Hills coverage team was coming downfield. Really, they get out of there, get the ball back to the 20-yard line. Now they get their composure back. They won't lose that much in field position.
Clements on a half roll. He's going to take off and run. He'll get to the 25, perhaps the 26. We've got a flag on the play. It'll bring up 3rd and 4 if the play stands. Cagle and Doug Dickman make the tackle for North Hills. Remember, this North Hills defense, the first string defense, is not allowed a point all season long.
And when you see Clemens rolling out, he's trying to read on the run. He's got a man in motion. He's got Pat Smith coming out of the backfield in motion, going to the sidelines to stretch the defense, and he's reading the coverage on Prunzik. If you get a linebacker on Prunzik, going to try to throw the football to him. He's having a tough time trying to simplify that defense for North Hills.
There was no flag on the play. They picked it up. The pass is incomplete and almost intercepted downfield. Looking for the first down. Carey almost had the interception. The intended receiver was Dan Prunzik. That'll bring up 4th down and about 4.5. And once again, Mount Lebanon will be forced to punt. The Blue Devils have not yet picked up a first down in the ball game.
Well, I watched the practice a couple of days ago, and I watched Art Walker and his offense try to run that play so many times, trying to hit the seam. Got to make that pass very quickly to Prunzik in the seam behind the linebackers and before he gets to the safeties downfield.
Clemens to punt. Schmidt and Caesar back deep. Good kick by Clemens. Schmidt has to let it go. That's a great kick. And it rolls out of bounds or is down at the 26-yard line. So the field position is changed dramatically after the great punt. A 47-yard punt. 6:36 to play in the first half. We are scoreless. Time now for another WPIAL flashback. 1985, Gateway and North Hills play to an epic 0-0 tie to share the Quad A championship. Talk about close. North Hills' 25-yard field goal attempt hits the crossbar and bounces wide. That was as close as either team would come to scoring.
I was going to tell you about Scuro transmissions, but I think I'll let these folks do it for me.
I brought the car in one evening, and the next day I picked it up, and since then I've had no trouble at all with it.
The estimate and the bill were even below what they had quoted me over the phone, which doesn't happen often, and I was very satisfied with the bill.
Had the best service I ever got.
He knows what he's doing, and he's honest.
Hey, I'm supposed to say that.
This is really getting big. They're coming by the thousands. Down to you, Kurt.
It seems this is the first store to have the new lemon lime slice with the great new taste.
How was it? Fantastic!
Listen, people, the new slice has more lemon lime taste than 7-Up and Sprite. We've got the juice.
Who gets the dad?
The new lemon lime slice. It's got a great new taste.
Think you'll have enough slice, Max?
Maybe. Maybe not.
6:36 to play in the first half. We are scoreless. North Hills and Mount Lebanon. The Indians with the football at their own 27-yard line. Unbalanced line. This is T.J. Schmidt. And Schmidt with a nice gainer out to the 33-yard line. A gain of nearly 7 yards. Scott Teeters makes the tackle. Inside linebacker. It'll be 2nd down and about 4.
For North Hills, going to be very patient the entire game. They know when they get a break, they almost had a break on the punt to Danny Prunzik, but they'll continue to go back to the running game with an outstanding running back, J.T. Schmidt, Pat Carey, or Hitchcock, or Morris, the quarterback. 4 outstanding running backs in that backfield.
T.J. Schmidt, a little shaken up. He's more of a wing back than a running back, although he did gain 475 yards this year. And from that wingback position, when you're not expecting him, he only averaged 7.9 yards per carry. Other than that, not much of an average at all. 7.9.
The thing you don't
Speaking
want
of college boards, that's what I got on my college board, 7.9.
The thing you don't want to be on his football team is a wide receiver.
That's right. Second down, nearly 4 for North Hills. Hitchcock beats a tackle, but he cannot beat the exceptional penetration, and he's thrown for a loss. Nice play by Casey Wheat, the left corner. He's a senior at 6'1", 175.
Again, you see Hitchcock trying to find a lane. There's nothing there. Almost gets brought down to the line of scrimmage. And finally, on the outside, staying at home, Casey Wheat makes the open field tackle on Hitchcock, who's an outstanding running back. Right now, Mount Lebanon is getting the penetration. They're staying at home. They're playing disciplined defense right now. I think the same way they played in the first game at Mount Lebanon Stadium a couple of weeks ago.
There you see Casey Wheat. Third down and a long 4 from the 33-yard line, and we're going to get a timeout. And the timeout is going to be charged, I believe, to Mount Lebanon. Nope, to North Hills. So we have a timeout with 5:23 to play in the half. We are scoreless between Mount Lebanon and North Hills. This is the battle of the best on WTAE TV.
You're almost there when you call. You're almost there when you call Allegheny Commuter.
There's something special cooking at Eden Park. Always has been.
Okay, you're looking at some Mount Lebanon cheerleaders' legs. The reason you are is because it's cold out here. I'm cold. Aren't you guys freezing? Of course, why not? You keep moving. Oh, yeah. Listen, they're warm, they're hot. They feel none of this cold at all. Back to you.
Jack Ham says Lenny wants to see your legs. Any chance? Third down and 4. Morris on the keep. Needs a block at the point of attack. He will not get there. Out to the 36, 37-yard line, but short of the first down. Jason Beatty forced the play in and made the hit initially. And once again, Mount Lebanon's defense, Jack, does the job.
Jason Beatty here, and from the outside comes George Fector again, containing. He's had a big game in his first half, supporting from the outside. They're playing to run so much. If North Hills decide to throw the football, we'll all be shocked here sometime, but if they decide to throw the football, they may get some good yardage down to the outside where Fector is coming up and supporting.
Mount Lebanon has been tough on defense. To give you an idea, almost a bad snap. North Hills has rushed for only 47 yards on 20 carries. And the punt is going to be down at the 34-yard line, where the Blue Devils will take over a 30-yard punt, no return. That's a phenomenal stat, Jack. When you look at the averages of the 4 starters in the backfield, and North Hills has only gained 47 yards on 20 carries, 2.7 per carry. They have not yet attempted a pass. Mount Lebanon, on the other hand, has rushed for 20 yards on 10 carries, 0 for 2 passing. They have yet to pick up a first down. 4:30 to play in the first half. We are scoreless. And around to Prunzik, and Prunzik does a nice job, keeps his feet and is near first down yardage across the 40 and out to the 43-yard line. Dan Prunzik, who, by the way, is a nephew of Frankie Gustine, the former Pirate third baseman.
That's another misdirection. He lined up as a wing back. You see him breaking some tackles right now, keeping his feet. Outstanding play by dropping his hand down twice to keep his balance and get some extra yards. May have a first down, and also an injured player down at the 32-yard line for Mount Lebanon. That is number 53.
Jason Beatty.
Jason Beatty. They cannot afford to miss him for a lot of reasons. Outstanding defensive player, but he is on the offensive side of the ball. He's a great trapper. Tackle trap is a big part of the Mount Lebanon offense.
Here's the play again. You see Beatty go down.
And grab his knee. His left knee looked like as Prunzik gets to the outside. Boy, he's only about 50 pounds, but I'll tell you one thing. He breaks a couple of tackles here to the sideline and made one of the biggest plays for Mount Lebanon in the running game the entire first half.
That is Mount Lebanon's longest gain from scrimmage, the 9.5-yard gain.
And Stan, that's again another situation where they're trying to run as misdirection counter plays. So to fake to the inside, and then Prunzik on the wing back position, coming back across the formation, getting the football with Jason Beatty trying to block for him. That's a play he got hurt. But all the misdirection stuff, they do not want to go head-to-head against that North Hills defense.
It is second down and less than a yard. Let's see if Clemens pulls something out of the hat here. No, he'll give the ball off to Hackathorn, and Casey Hackathorn across the 45 to the 46 picks up Mount Lebanon's initial first down of the ball game. Dickman made the tackle for North Hills. We have played a great deal of football. That's the first down of the game for Mount Lebanon, and it has begun to rain.
Mr. Monday Night had told me the over and under for this game is 3.
Probably 3.5. We don't want any pushes. First down and 10. Clemens back to throw. A lot of time. Now he pulls it down, and he is going to be dropped at the line of scrimmage, the 46-yard line. Good coverage that time by the North Hills secondary. Looking downfield, there were 3 receivers out. All 3 of them covered nicely, and Gary Gordajewski, with help from Mark Ellermeyer, make the tackle.
And Stan, it's really starting to come down now. The rain has really picked up, and this will hurt Mount Lebanon. Mount Lebanon with a passing game, it won't hurt North Hills a bit. But although in a bad weather in the snow and sleet last week, Mount Lebanon threw the football very effectively against that defense.
And Mount Lebanon is going to lose about 3 yards on this carry as Brian Cagle just collapsed the interior line that time of Mount Lebanon, and it results in a 3-yard loss to bring up third down and long as we are now under 3 minutes to play in the first half. What's that old cliche, Jack, about rain being the great equalizer?
Well, one thing might have been an advantage playing here with they're playing the pro hash marks here at Three River Stadium. They're not playing the high school hash marks. Also, the uprights are the pro uprights right here. We saw a field goal missed last year here by North Hills to hit the upright in the high school upright. That would have been a good field goal.
Over the middle, and it is incomplete. Intended on the slant pattern for Smith, and it was deflected, or at least in part, by Doug Dickman. The pad intended for Matt Smith, who is the brother of Pat Smith, the starting tailback. So Clemens now 0 for 3. It'll be fourth down and long.
See, Doug Dickman just reading the quarterback. Clemens' eye just gets his left hand on the football, just trying to get it across the middle on a little slant pattern, and Dickman was right there, played a solid football game, taking over for Tom Cohen, who was injured.
Of course, Eric Reinke, the big name on defense for North Hills, but Dickman has played a great football game thus far. Almost blocked. Schmidt at his own 29. Looking to get outside. He's going to be tackled inside at the 31-yard line. 26-yard kick. 2-yard return. Dave Kramer downfield to make the tackle for the Blue Devils. 2:28 to play in the first half.
And Stan, as quickly as I talked about the rain, it has stopped dead right now. It's not raining at all. A real quick, brief shower, and now it's not raining at all. So I don't think the weather's going to be a factor. It's going to be a turnover one way or the other, and this football game is going to decide it.
It's probably raining one place on my car. Got it washed today. The only place it's raining in the tri-state.
That expensive Porsche you have?
Oh, yeah. Another 400 payments, and I own it. First down and 10. Inside counter to Chris Caesar. And there was a problem with the handoff, but Caesar still manages to get about 7 yards out near the 37. George Fector has played a strong game on the corner for Mount Lebanon, made the tackle.
It's the first time we've seen Caesar to the end around underneath. They got penetration. Mount Lebanon almost disrupted the play in the backfield. Chris Caesar keeps his feet and almost breaks that play. And underneath ball handling, usually when a tight end comes around like that, it's usually behind the quarterback. He got underneath. Mount Lebanon got penetration and almost stopped Caesar in the backfield. Good athletic move by Caesar to get some yards, almost 7 yards on the play.
Check on the previous series, North Hills used some unbalanced line. Has that had any effect at all on the football game?
Well, usually all an unbalanced line is trying to do, you're trying to catch your defense by not making the adjustment, by moving over a man. I mean, it's no secret what North Hills is trying to do, just run the football. Mount Lebanon has made the adjustment, so it really has not been an advantage for North Hills at all in this football game.
You also mentioned the scheme that Mount Lebanon used in the first game. Remember, that game in the regular season was scoreless after 3 quarters of play, and some suspected Mount Lebanon just wore down in the 4th quarter. Mount Lebanon has done a great job in stopping the North Hills running game. Has that been a matter of scheme or merely execution?
I think right now it's just really the execution. I think guys are having a great game. Brad Barton, George Fector, people like that. And also Jason Beatty, before he got injured, people are just hustling to the football. There are no alleys for the running backs of North Hill to try to cut in and make a big play.
2nd down and 4. This is Morris. He'll tuck it up, and he'll get across the 40 and out near the 42-yard line, and that would be a 1st down if he crosses the 41. Rob Shearer, inside linebacker for Mount Lebanon, made the tackle.
We also see Barton over here hustling down, trying to make Morris go to the outside. He's played an outstanding football game. Shearer to the outside on the containment. I think Art Walker's got to be very pleased the way his defense has played this entire first half against North Hills, and I think he's going to go in the locker room feeling very confident that they can stop the North Hills running game.
Let's also give credit to Josh Winnicor, who was in on that tackle. Nonetheless, it is a 1st down for North Hills Indians. They're at their own 41-yard line. 1:53 to play in the first half. Both teams have 2 timeouts remaining. Double wing set. Lone setback is fullback Pat Carey. End around. Watch for the flea flicker. Caesar winds up and throws. Schmidt is open. Incomplete at the 12-yard line. T.J. Schmidt was open. Pat Smith interfered on the play.
Stan, they're going to call Pat Smith. It's going to be a 15-yard penalty. This is the big play in their offense. Left-handed, Caesar throwing it downfield. T.J. Schmidt has him beat on the play. Well, awfully close call. He got his hand there. It's a 15-yard penalty from the spot. So it's not going to be downfield near the 15-yard line. But I'll tell you one thing. Caesar laid that ball out there on that end-around pass downfield to T.J. Schmidt.
1st down. Again, it's a 15-yard penalty, not in the spot of the foul. Morris is yet to throw. That's the first pass thrown by North Hills as a team. Clements is 0 for 3. I did not see the foul, Jack.
Well, he said he got his left hand in there before the ball came to T.J. Schmidt. Very close call. Fortunately, it's not a penalty down near inside the 15-yard line on that play.
Morris will keep to the 40. The 30. He's got a 1st down at the Mount Lebanon 28-yard line. Matt Smith made the 1st hit. Casey Wheat came over to clean up on the tackle. But it's a 16-yard gain and another 1st down for North Hills.
Well, that time just Mount Lebanon had the containment on Morris. Could not bring him down. When he said he's like a halfback who's a quarterback out there. And all of a sudden, that's the big play North Hills needs.
Morris again shows pass and throws. And it is incomplete. It was intended for Dickman coming out of the backfield. He was split, went in motion, and went off his hands. So Morris finally throws the first pass of the ball game. It is 2nd down now and 10. 1:24 to play in the half.
I'm sure they'd like to get down in close, try maybe a field goal before the half goes out with 1:24. The big plays they've gotten was Morris carrying the football, breaking a couple tackles and getting the ball inside the 30-yard line. And the closest thing to a big play was Caesar throwing it down to J.T. Schmidt on the pass interference.
Morris now 43 yards rushing on 9 carries. 2nd and 10 from the Mount Lebanon 28. Morris blitz, goes up the middle. The 20 and dives to the 19. He'll be about a yard shy of the 1st down. Matt Smith made the tackle. Morris goes back like he's going to pass, but it's a run all the way.
It's a quarterback draw. You see him going back 4 or 5 steps, letting the Mount Lebanon people go upfield on the pass rush and come back. Like we said, he's like a halfback, 10 carries for 53 yards, and all of a sudden he has North Hills in good position. We're going to check if it's a 1st down or not, but a good call by Jack McCurry on the play on a quarterback draw by Morris.
At the very least, it's going to be 3rd and inches.
It was 10 yards.
It is a 1st down.
15-yard line.
So Mount Lebanon with 3 consecutive 1st downs now. They have 6 in the ball game. In contrast, Mount Lebanon has just 1. And yet we are scoreless. 1:10 to play in the half. North Hill still has 2 timeouts remaining. 1st down at the 18. Morris winds up in the end zone. Hitchcock, touchdown, North Hills. Dwayne Hitchcock, an 18-yard touchdown catch from Greg Morris. And North Hills has a 6-0 lead.
When Greg Morris hurts you so many times, rolling out and running with the football with a blocker in front of him, this time he goes deep to Hitchcock, wide open downfield. You don't expect North Hills to throw the football, but they ran the football so many times out of the same formation. That time Hitchcock kind of jogs downfield and is wide open in the end zone.
Boy, talk about taking the bait. The corner and the safety just came right up to the line of scrimmage.
This is all Greg Morris. He set this whole thing up by the running plays that occurred on this drive late in the first half.
And the extra point is good. So with 1 minute and 1 second to play in the first half, North Hills finally scores, and they lead Mount Lebanon 7-0.
Well, you normally think with 1:53 left to go in a half, and type of offense that North Hills has, they would not be able to go downfield and put a touchdown on the board. When you take care of Hitchcock, you take care of J.T. Schmidt and Pat Carey, and all of a sudden Morris is the guy that hurt Mount Lebanon the most on that drive and also set it up for the touchdown. Here it is again, just rolling out, make it look like run, just pulling back, and he sees Hitchcock wide open and just lays the football down. And Hitchcock just takes it in very easily for the touchdown.
For Hitchcock, that is his 16th touchdown of the season, the leading scorer for North Hills, that time with a pass reception. And although North Hills completed only one pass in that drive, Jack, all the major gains were set up on passing action.
At the end around with Caesar throwing the ball, got the pass interference on Pat Smith downfield, but a lot of running. Morris doing a lot of it on his own. Broke past 2 Mount Lebanon people who had the containment on Morris, ran it back inside, got good yardage, and he just set the entire play up. And probably Hitchcock just jogged off the line of scrimmage, made it look like he was blocking, and then went down the sideline. And Mount Lebanon defensive backs took the bait, and he was wide open.
It was a 69-yard drive on 6 plays, and of course the scoring play, a touchdown pass from Greg Morris to Dwayne Hitchcock. 1 minute 1 to play in the half. The line driving. Donahue running laterally is dropped at the 22-yard line. So Mount Lebanon will have 55 seconds, 2 timeouts to work with. Sam Spade downfield on the tackle for special teams.
Boy, they do every department. North Hills, they're extremely well coached. That time J.T. Schmidt and Sam Spade coming down, had the containment. Spade on the outside, very disciplined, turned the play in and made the tackle. Excellent special teams on the kickoff coverage by North Hills.
1st and 10 with 23. Here's the counter handoff, and Prunzic's going to be thrown for a loss at the 20-yard line. Certainly Art Walker doesn't want to do anything foolish down here, Jack. Really, his team has played an excellent first half, and down 7-0, more than in the football game.
And here's Sam Spade making another play on the outside, being the outside linebacker, just staying at home, keeping his position to play initially on the fake, goes away from him. He doesn't hustle across the formation, stays at home, and made the tackle in the backfield. That's a well-coached football team.
John Villela goes wide right, Prunzic wide left. 2nd and 13, clock running, 5 seconds to play in the half. Scott Clemens will keep. He'll get out to the 30-yard line, but that will be the end of the first half. A good half of football. Mount Lebanon's defense hanging in there tough, but finally North Hills with a 69-yard touchdown drive telling the story of the ball game. That's the end of the first half. The score, North Hills 7, Mount Lebanon nothing. This is the Battle of the Best on WTAE TV.
It started out as a dream to keep a lot of kids warm this winter.
Bring them in out of the cold and into your heart.
Help WTAE TV and the Salvation Army fulfill this dream for thousands of needy children. Buy your Bundle Them Up records and cassettes at Kogo's, Camelot, all national record marts, Oasis, and record outlets.
Look! What to your wondering eyes now appear only at Burger King. It's cuddly reindeer. There's Rodney, Ramona, Rhonda, and Randy. At $1.99 each, the price is just dandy. Buy a $5 book of gift certificates here and pay just $1.99 for your reindeer. Collect all 4 at a Burger King sign. Get your reindeer right now and the best food for fast times.
ideas cooked up to make life easier in the kitchen. There's one simple idea that nobody has improved on. Of course, if another idea came along that was as good, it would probably be ours too. Reynolds Wrap and Reynolds Plastic Wrap. Make it right from the start.
Don't come too close. I have a bad cough and a cold.
No one appreciates the way Mom takes care of everyone until Mom gets sick.
What do we do now? Mom always takes care of us.
That's when the person who doctors the family turns to Robitussin, because more doctors and pharmacists recommend Robitussin than any other cough medicine.
Feeling better, Mom?
I was.
Robitussin, recommended by more doctors, pharmacists, and Dr. Mom.
Halftime of the WPIAL Quad A Championship game, and North Hills undefeated, leading Mount Lebanon 7-0. The only score of the game on a 69-yard touchdown drive. The scoring play, a 18-yard touchdown pass from Greg Morris, Dwayne Hitchcock. That's where we are now. North Hills leading Mount Lebanon 7-0. Now for our halftime show, or at least the majority of it, let's go down to the field to Lynn Cullen. Lynn?
Thanks, Dan. Thanks, Dan. I am sitting here with some very happy North Hills fans. But because it's halftime, that's when the bands play. I want to talk about the bands because the bands don't get enough recognition. And in fact, I'm sitting with a bunch of band parents who say that your children work every bit as hard during the year as the football players.
Yes, we have a very active band parents organization. The kids have been practicing since June. We're up there practicing at 5 o'clock tonight.
They practice during the summer and into the winter.
Yes, they practice through the summer. They spend a week away at band camp and practice through football season twice a week.
It's rough. As you know, they play in all kinds of weather, and they've got to march and be in incredible physical condition, actually. They really have to work out, don't they? Your band members work.
So do their parents.
And so do the parents. So we're going to do something that doesn't often get done during a football game anymore, and that is give you the opportunity to enjoy some of the halftime action out there on the field. And playing first this halftime is the Mount Lebanon Band, a 60-member strong Mount Lebanon Blue Devils marching band, who, by the way, want to wish their band director, Jim McElroy, who was taken to the hospital this morning, a very, very speedy recovery. They know he's watching tonight. So, speedy recovery to you, James McElroy. They're sounding great without you under the obviously very, very good baton of your assistant director. So, let's go and listen to the Blue Devils marching band. When we come back, we will have the North Hills Band. Now to the studio for an Action News update. This is the Battle of the Best on WTAE.
everyone. I'm Beth Dolinar. In Atlanta tonight, the prison stalemate continues. Federal officials have now cut off heat and water to the over 1,000 Cuban inmates and their 94 hostages. Hopes are that this latest move will force a quick resolution to the prison takeover. In Cherry Hill, New Jersey, police tell us 210 anti-abortion protesters have been arrested. This following a massive anti-abortion rally at the Cherry Hill Abortion Clinic. Those arrested were charged with trespassing. They were part of a group of about 300 who arrived at the clinic from all over the country. Here in town, the body of a Connellsville woman was found this morning on a roadside in Dunbar Township. Police say that Vita Shedlock had been shot at least once. They say they are puzzled by the circumstances surrounding the shooting. Initial reports say that one person may have witnessed the incident. And 7 people are homeless following a fire which destroyed their home in Broadhead Manor early today. Firefighters tell us it started in the kitchen of the home of Gwendolyn Dool. Damage was set at $25,000. 2 neighboring homes received water damage in the fire. It was a big day for celebrating the season, and that's exactly what happened downtown during the big Celebrate the Season parade. The WPIAL Project Bundle Up float was one of many floats and marching bands that entertained a crowd estimated at 50,000. We were there with Joe DiNardo and the CLO Mini-Stars singing the song Bundle Them Up. It was a great day for the parade, wasn't it?
Got by with no rain. We were fortunate today. A little rain around the area at halftime tonight, a little more showers tonight, and wet weather on Sunday, Beth. But then Old Man Winter comes chugging on back pretty soon. We'll have details at 11.
All right, Bob, thanks. And it's a big night in sports. You know all about the WPIAL football playoffs. Coming up at 11, Guy Junker will have details on tonight's Penguins game and the Pitt Robert Morris basketball season opener. We'll be back at 11 o'clock. Now we go back to Jack and Stan at Three Rivers Stadium.
Welcome back to Three Rivers Stadium. We are at halftime of the Quad A championship game between North Hills and Mount Lebanon. The Indians leading the Blue Devils 7-0. As we mentioned earlier, it's a big day of high school football here in Western Pennsylvania and here at Three Rivers Stadium. This is the nightcap, as it were, of a quadruple header with all the class championships being decided today. And Guy Junker has a recap of the A, AA, and AAA championships held earlier today. Guy?
The Wilmington Greyhounds versus the Monaca Indians. Wilmington's first trip to the playoffs ever. 0-0 in the third. Wilmington's Paul Johnson, a 32-yard field goal try. It hits the crossbar. Still scoreless. Under 4 minutes to play. Wilmington knocking on the door again. Jason Smargiasso to Brad Kaufman, 7-0. 54 seconds later, Wilmington gets the ball back. Blair Sweet fumbles. Dan Namath scoops it up and goes 62 yards. They tie the game 7-7. But with 1:39 to play, third down, Jason Smargiasso finds Jason Surdan. He goes 59 yards on the fullback screen. The Jason-to-Jason pass wins it 14-7.
I just kept striving. I knew it had to be done. We worked hard all year. And everyone here supported us very well. I had to do it. Had to. One of, if not me, somebody else.
Monaca, one last chance. Quarterback John Nicely intercepted by Chris Osborne. He had 3 today and played well after getting over the Three Rivers Stadium jitters.
It's weird. We came down here early today, and we came out and we saw the Steelers practicing, and everybody was like, wow.
Wilmington wins it 14-7. Game 2 for the AA title, the Stowe Rocks Vikings versus the Elwood City Wolverines. Scoreless in the second quarter. Jody Dickerson, it's Joe Serbiak, and it sets the Vikings up in business inside the 5-yard line. Craig Ripple follows with a 4th and goal touchdown. It made it 6-0 Stowe Rocks at the half. In the second half, Elwood City threatened to tie the game, but Ray Gamble made an interception of a Chris Ketterer pass, and it stopped the drive.
I seen the tight end. He rolled across the middle. He was doing it all game. I just read it. It was right in my hands. I'm glad to have it. Feels good.
In the fourth quarter, Jody Dickerson to Gamble again, 36 yards this time, and it gets the ball to the 3-yard line of Elwood City. Then Dickerson, a little confusion on the play, but he takes it in himself. Stowe Rocks in control, 13-0. But with 37 seconds left in the game, the Vikings clinch it. Mike Zanoli coming right at you. 19-0, Stowe Rocks, the new AA champions.
Just waking up. I'm just waking up from a dream. This is a dream. This is great. I'm as thrilled as the kids. I told them all week, I got first dibs on John Stallworth's locker.
Game number 3, the AAA championship between the Aliquippa Fighting Quips and the Newcastle Hurricanes. In the second quarter, Aliquippa down 14-6. They trailed 14-0 at one point. Darren Perry takes a punt, 55 yards for an apparent score, but no, there's a clip. The play comes back, 14-6. Newcastle still leads at halftime. In the third quarter, a 66-yard drive on 5 plays is capped by a Ron Foster touchdown. He goes 41 yards. The 2-point conversion no good, and it's 14-12 Newcastle. But in the fourth quarter, the Hurricanes still leading by 2. Dave Mike, the Aliquippa quarterback, a 62-yard touchdown pass to Terry Patrick. They'll be celebrating on Franklin Avenue tonight as the Quips avenge their only loss this year earlier to Newcastle. That 7-play, 80-yard drive capped on a 2-point conversion. Dave Mike again, this time to Jason McBride, made it 20-14. A late score made it 26-14. That's the final. The Quips win their 3rd WPIAL title in the last 4 years.
All right, thank you very much, Guy. Congratulations, obviously, to the winners, but also to the kids who played in a losing effort. It's been a long season. Those kids started playing football in mid-August, and losing in a championship game is no disgrace. Now, back down to the field at Three River Stadium in Lynn Cullen. Lynn?
Yeah. Listen, Joe said it would, and in fact, it is. I got to tell you, it's starting to rain, and it's a cold, freezing rain. But, hey, this is football, so I'm not going to have an umbrella on. Well, I'll tell you, Mount Lebanon's band just finished up, put on an absolutely great halftime performance. But now you're hearing the cheers already because North Hills band is about to take the field. And not only is their football team #1 in the nation, but this marching band has won numerous national awards. In fact, last year in Washington, D.C., taking an unprecedented 15 first-place trophies. So, how about it? Let's listen to the #1 North Hills Fighting Indians. Battle of the Best on WTAE TV.
I would guess that some listeners find me weird, others mysterious, spooky, bizarre. Those are my good points. What you hear on the radio is Doug Hirth, good, bad, or otherwise. It's such an intimate form of communication. You can get all kinds of emotion. You can make people happy. You can make them sad. You can, on occasion, make them laugh. Maybe even make them think.
Listen to Doug Hirth on News Talk 1250, the new WTAE.
Buy a full-size Ford pickup, and your Ford dealer will hand you this check for $500.
There's more. We'll show you up to $2,138 additional savings if you buy your truck with Ford's preferred equipment package.
And there's more. Your local Ford dealer is adding his special sale discounts to these savings. Yes, you can buy America's #1 pickup truck for less.
During Truck Buyer Bonus Days at your local world-class Ford dealer.
Recommendation, buy Ford now.
Welcome back to Three Rivers Stadium. We are at halftime with North Hills leading Mount Lebanon 7-0. And joining us once again is the head coach at Gateway High School, Pete Anamarino. Pete, your impressions and comments on the first half?
Well, I think it was an ultra-conservative football game the first half. I was wondering when Jag would ever put the ball in the air. I thought maybe they took the air out of the football. But you can see what they can do when they start loosening up the ball game. You know, throw a little deep pass here now and then come back to the short pass.
Mount Lebanon kind of have a little bit of lax there at the end of the half, or they forget about Greg Morris, the quarterback, when you try to key on all the other running backs.
But I thought all along that both teams should exploit more the sprinting game to the outside with the quarterback rolling out. Both quarterbacks are short. They have difficulty sitting in the pocket because of the big lineman putting on the rush. So I expect the second half possibly to see Mount Lebanon now to get Clements rolling out a little bit more, to hit the flat passes, and then maybe eventually hit somebody deep. And that's exactly what North Hills did.
The one thing that Mount Lebanon has not done is throw the football. They are 0 for 3. They've got to throw it and complete it to win.
Right, and they've got to watch it. They can't throw deep against North Hills. They got a super secondary with Caesar back there. You can't get behind him. They got to throw some short stuff, some flat passes, some crossing patterns, and spring those guys up a little bit, and then try to get the long pass eventually.
All right, people, we're going to take a look at some of the highlights. Of course, the first play we thought was a touchdown, but the officials ruled that it was a muff, and in high school football, you cannot run a football out from the end zone. So obviously the call was a correct one, Pete.
Definitely. I feel it was the officials' fault there, Stan. They should have thrown the flag immediately or, called it a touchback immediately before they got out of hand there a little bit. But right here, as soon as that ball hits the end zone, whether it's muffed or whether it goes in on its own malicious or whether the player makes it go in, it's definitely an automatic touchback.
All right, on the touchdown pass, it was set up by pass action by Morris. He had run a couple times from sprint out, and this time the Mount Lebanon secondary just bit on it and came right up to the line.
Right, you know what happened here? They had a two-man pattern to the right. The tight end went out and did a square out. The wide receiver, Hitchcock, just went straight down the sideline, and the safety forgot to pick him up. That was the whole thing there.
Pete, do you feel 7 points is enough?
I think so. Jack's going to sit on a lead now. It's going to be very difficult for Mount Lebanon to come back unless they really go to the option game. And I noticed now that Walker's not exploited the option at all. I guess Clements can't run the option. They're going to get to the outside, hit inside again quick, get to the option, short passing game, trying to get Prunzig outside on a quick out or some slant ins. Then short passing game first.
Well, Mount Lebanon has only 2 first downs. The second first down of the first half came after they were going to run out the first half. So really the statistical advantage certainly has gone to North Hills.
Definitely. Everybody knew what they were going to do, and Jack has stuck to the game plan. In fact, both coaches have stuck to the game plan. Field position, wait for a break, and sit on until something happens. And that's exactly what they did.
Pete, thanks for being with us. We appreciate your analysis and enjoy it as well.
It was a very good pleasure here. Thank you very much.
Okay, no stranger certainly to high school championship games. Pete Anamarino, head coach at Gateway High School, and he's been a brilliant coach his entire career. Jack and I'll be back for the second half kickoff in just a moment. North Hills leads Mount Lebanon 7-0. This is the Battle of the Best on WPIAL TV.
When my wife found out that Long John Silver's is offering 4 Norman Rockwell mugs for the holidays for just 99 cents apiece, who do you think was first in line? Bingo.
This holiday season, come in for your Rockwell mugs and get another great classic. Long John Silver's shrimp, fish, and chicken dinner for the low holiday price of just $3.99.
Long John Silver's.
And don't forget your mugs.
When the Steelers and Saints game is over, the hard questions begin, and that's when you can turn to Steelers Extra. Stan Savran will have complete game highlights and feature the key plays and players. Plus, there'll be a complete wrap-up of all the games played around the league, and Myron Cope will share his comments. So for the sports fan who wants a little more insight, don't miss Steelers Extra, Sunday night at 11:20, here on Channel 4 WTAE TV.
Back to Three Rivers Stadium. North Hills leading Mount Lebanon as the North Hills Indian Band finishes up. Certainly no surprise statistically other than the fact, Jack, that A, Scott Clemens has not completed a pass and that they've only thrown the football 3 times, although the field position really has been such from Mount Lebanon. They really have not had much of an opportunity.
No, they really can't. They've really played it close to the vest. I think you'll see Art Walker, like Pete said, try to open this up a little bit more. But Scotty Clemens has got to get out there and make the plays. He's got to make the reads on the run when he rolls out, rolling out to his right, trying to get the ball downfield. If not Prunzik, he's got to get the ball to his motion man, Pat Smith, going down the sidelines if he gets the one-on-one coverage. And he's got to make that read. 7 points right now. I'm sure Jack McCurry in that locker room is saying to his football team, that's all we need. Get 7 points, and they didn't get that until the fourth quarter against Mount Lebanon. They're a confident defense, and they put a lot of pressure on Scotty Clemens as well.
Well, interestingly enough, Jack, the first quarter and a half of the football game, North Hills had gained 47-yard rushing on 20 carries, 2.7 per carry. On the touchdown drive, Jack McCurry went to a more wide-open offense, although there was only actually 1 pass completion. There was the pass interference called on the flanker around flea flicker, I guess we'd call it, by Chris Caesar.
You see Caesar right now throwing it downfield to J.T. Schmidt, who's wide open. See Pat Smith trying to get his left hand in right at the end here, gets his left hand in here. Well, I'll tell you, that's a close call that they called a pass interference. It was a 15-yard penalty, not the spot of the foul, but a 15-yard penalty. They threw the flag on that play, and for the most part, the officiating has been outstanding. But that's a very close call to try to make it a championship football game. It looked like he got his hand in there just as the ball arrived.
And he was going for the ball, of course, which he's entitled to do, and this is the touchdown pass. Greg Morris kind of lobbing it out there to a wide-open Dwayne Hitchcock in the corner of the end zone, 18 yards and a touchdown. The extra point by Jason Bender was good, and that's where we're at now with North Hills leading Mount Lebanon 7-0.
And look at the quarterback stats right now. We talked about Art Walker saying he's going to open the game up a little bit. 0 for 3, have not got the football in the hands of any receiver downfield. Morris 1 for 2, the touchdown pass to Hitchcock. And the touchdown pass we saw in the replay was really set up by a lot of the running of Morris. Greg Morris rolling out to his right, running with the football. He broke a couple of tackles on a long run down inside the 30-yard line. And that's the way you set up a play. And he came right back to a good call by Jack McCurry. Same action, let Hitchcock go down the sideline. Same action with Morris coming out. Like I said, he's like a halfback out of the backfield, running on the corner, and just lobbed the ball for the touchdown. And I'll tell you what, it was a good drive. Finally, North Hills put it together with only about 1:53 left to go in the half.
Well, what impressed me, Jack, was the fact that running the football, North Hills had only 47 yards on 20 carries. You realized that Mount Lebanon was doing a great job in stopping his running game. And so on the 69-yard drive, he came out with plays designed off passing action. So it showed a great deal of flexibility on Jack McCurry's part, I thought.
Well, he's a very patient guy. And when I talked to him this week, he said, I don't mind punting the football 8 or 9 times, and we'll play that type of football. And he's very confident in his defense. But you're right, he opened it up here a little bit. And when he threw the pass downfield and went for the interference call, what it did, it opened up that secondary a little bit more. And all of a sudden, Morris is the guy you don't see all that much carrying the football. Hitchcock and J.T. Schmidt are the running backs who carry quite a bit. But all of a sudden, he breaks a big play. And that's what happened with North Hills when they've been in a tough football game. Tough game all the way down the line. All of a sudden, someone on that team makes a big play. They get a touchdown, and usually the game is over.
Well, Lebanon getting set to come out. You saw Greg Morris, the North Hills quarterback, who really functions as a halfback more than anything else, warming up on the sideline. Morris is the leading rusher in the ball game. He has 53 yards rushing on 10 carries, 5.3 per carry, and of course has the 1 completion and 2 attempts for the touchdown. Dwayne Hitchcock, who caught the touchdown pass, has 3 yards rushing on 7 carries. Of course, he does have the touchdown catch. Pat Carey, 8 yards and 3 carries. Caesar, 7 yards, 2 carries, and T.J. Schmidt, 12 yards on 2 carries. Doug Dickman for the North Hills defense has 5 solo tackles. For Mount Lebanon, Scott Clemens, the quarterback, 4 carries for 14 yards. John Donahue, the tailback, 4 carries, 12 yards. Pat Smith, the leading rusher for the Blue Devils, only 5 yards on 3 carries. As we watch Art Walker coming out, remember, Art Walker, his last game.
And there's Jim Lash on the sidelines right now on crutches with a cast on his left knee. He has torn knee ligaments, and he's out here in the second half trying to watch his team win the Quad A championship, but he has torn knee ligaments, and undoubtedly will have surgery after this football game. But he came back out to watch his football team hopefully win the WPIAL championship.
Well, Jimmy's sure taking it in stride.
Well,
He'll feel a lot better if his team wins the WPIAL Quad A championship, I assure you.
Well, he's had a good year. He came back from a couple of injuries. He just came across the line of scrimmage on a trap play that we saw earlier and got his leg buckled, came across a little bit high. And even though he's 270 pounds and a smaller man can put a block on a guy like that, if he comes across high and the man gets into him, he got his knee buckled and he went down. And hopefully after surgery and rehabilitation, he'll be fine for next year.
Well, you saw Jack McCurry talking to the officials on the sideline. I guarantee you that was about Mount Lebanon's delayed appearance for the second half, because the North Hills Indians were on the field about 5 minutes before Mount Lebanon was. That may have been the way it was supposed to be, and maybe North Hills came out a bit early, but I assume by the way that McCurry reacted, he wasn't real happy about standing out there and waiting. The rain has stopped, we should mention. It's been off and on for about the last 45 minutes.
Well, you got to give Art Walker a break. He needs all the time he can get trying to find some way to get some holes in that North Hills defense. No one has been able to do it against their first-team defense the entire year.
They want the ball.
Mount Lebanon with the option. They will receive to begin the second half. And we'll see if Mount Lebanon comes out throwing a bit more. Again, they only threw 3 times in the first half. And Mount Lebanon is a team that has thrown a great deal. Clements coming into the game had thrown 143 times, so they're going to throw 12, 14 times a game.
Well, and Jack McCurry said, I'm going to try to take away Danny Prunzik from that offense. If I'm going to get beat by Mount Lebanon, someone else is going to have to make big plays. And so far, really, the part of the North Hills defense, which really is an unsung part of the team, is their defensive secondary. Caesar is like the center fielder back there, free safety. And we heard Pete talk about how afraid they are to throw deep downfield. He's such a great athlete. It came up with so many big plays and a big interception against Mount Lebanon in the fourth quarter of the game they played a couple of weeks ago. So the secondary's played extremely well. And then the pressure. For the most part, Clemens has had some time to throw the football, just cannot find anyone open downfield because the secondary has done such a good job.
Jack, if they're concerned about Prunzik, what about running him on a clear out and running a screen, a flare pass, a flanker screen away from his side, something like that?
Well, what they're trying to do is get the ball to the running back, Pat Smith, in motion down the sideline. He has one-on-one coverage. I would not be surprised if they try to get Pat Smith, who's a good receiver, out of that backfield. If he gets the one-on-one coverage, try to lay the ball down the sidelines to him if people are going after Prunzik.
Prunzik, Smith, and Donahue awaiting the kick by Bender, but it goes out of bounds, and the flag flies, and we'll do it again. So Mount Lebanon gains 5 yards in field position. It's a good start for them.
I'll tell you what, I've never played on the defense as confident as the North Hills defense. I'm sure they think right now 7 points is all you need. Giving up absolutely 0 points, the first-team defense the entire season. That's just incredible stats. Somewhere along the line, you're going to have a play, you make a wrong assignment or a missed tackle or whatever. That defense takes a lot of pride in not giving up points, and I'm sure they feel right now the 7 points is enough, and Mount Lebanon will not be able to score on them.
Yeah, you stop and think about 12 football games. Somewhere along the line, someone's got to break an assignment. A guy's going to get deep. Someone's going to trip. Someone's going to fall down. Something's going to happen and get a deep pass on you, but not so for North Hills. The first-team defense has not given up a point, let alone a touchdown, all season long.
And the middle of the field is the key, where they got a guy like Eric Renke, the middle linebacker, inside linebacker, and then deep center fielder is Caesar. So those are the key people who stop a lot of big plays.
Short kick. Gonna let it hit one time. Prunzik breaks a tackle and gets outside to the 40, still on his feet, and he's out to the 44-yard line. So Mount Lebanon will start out in excellent shape at their own 44-yard line, a 23-yard return by Dan Prunzik.
Dan Prunzik is 168 pounds. First of all, he gets his ball right on the hop on the artificial turf. You see him now break it to the outside. Now he breaks a couple of tackles here. One missed tackle there trying to arm tackle Dan Prunzik. Another second missed tackle. He's trying to make all kind of people miss. And also Caesar finally stops him. But 2 broken tackles by a guy of 168 pounds. He's got strong legs and a lot of desire.
1st and 10 Mount Lebanon, their own 44. That's Prunzik in motion to the far side. Clements on a play action. Gets it out in the flat, and the pass is complete, short of the first down. But he's looking outside for his tight end, Rob Shear, number 42, and finds him. And Mount Lebanon is in North Hills territory.
Well, that time they cleared out with Dan Prunzik. He ran the takeoff pattern downfield, and coming underneath is Rob Shear out into the flat, trying to go down about 8 or 9 yards and break it to the outside. And it's Clemens rolling out that way. An easy throw for him, and Prunzik cleared out on the play.
Gain of 7. That's the first completion for Scott Clemens. He's 1 for 4. Second down and 3 at the North Hills 49. And a first down, the third of the ball game, as Casey Hackathorn, the fullback, drives through a pretty nice hole inside the 45 and down to the 43. Eric Renke makes the stop for North Hills.
You see Eric Renke playing off with his hands right there, trying to make the play, getting underneath the offensive lineman. That's a big league play by Renke, trying to make the play to his inside, but taking on the blocker with his hands and not a forearm is a college and pro type move.
Brian Cagle also in on the tackle, but Mount Lebanon with a first down at the North Hills 44-yard line. Clemens chased by Morris. He gets it off, and the pass is complete at the 37-yard line. Caesar makes the tackle. Again, the tight end, Shear, as again they use Prunzik to clear out.
Well, they're just running Prunzik on a takeoff pattern, the same identical play, little play action, and Clemens coming rolling out to his right to just get a little extra time. Finally, he feels the heat. He delivers a football. Pretty good coverage by Caesar on the play. Just Shear had his body in between Shear and the ball, and he made the catch for about a 7 or 8 yard gain.
It's going to be a 7-yard gain, Jack, and of course 7 yards on first down. Now you can run for your first down.
That is like a long bomb against this North Hills defense.
Second down and 3. Pat Smith with a big hole up the middle inside the 30 and down to the 29-yard line. And for the first time in the ball game, Mount Lebanon put successive first downs together. Dave Helen made the initial hit with help from Chris Caesar, but the Mount Lebanon Blue Devils, 2 consecutive first downs. They have it at the North Hills 29.
Good blocking right up the middle. Pat Smith taking that football straight ahead inside the 30-yard line. After the play on a pass on a rollout, come right back with a dive up the middle and got the first down.
Obviously the deepest penetration of the ball game for Mount Lebanon. Out of the eye with Prunzik in motion. Let's see if he looks for the tight end Shearer again, but he slips and falls down. And he's going to be down at the 36-yard line. So whereas in the 2 other sequences he got 7 on first down, now he loses 7 on first down. That makes it really difficult.
This artificial turf, when it gets a little rain on it, can get very slick. You see him slide right near the seam, I guess where the second base or one of the where the seams for baseball, and he slipped, came down with his artificial turf shoe, just came out from underneath him. That can kill their drive right now, setting up a second down and long against that defense.
Second down and 17. Same motion for Prunzik to the far side. Option. Smith is out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Chris Caesar ran Pat Smith out of bounds. So it'll be third down and 11 after a gain of 6.
Boy, Chris Caesar playing from that safety position. He reads so well. The option is run extremely well by Clemens, and he at the last minute dumps the football back to Smith downfield. You see right now, here comes Caesar from the inside making the tackle. Good open field tackle like that by Chris Caesar. Now, just an outstanding football player.
Clemens paid the price because Dave Helen, the inside linebacker, number 23, really gave him a shot. Third down and 11 from the 31-yard line. Pass incomplete for Prunzik. He was open, and it would have been a first down at the 15-yard line, but the pass was thrown too high and behind the intended receiver, Dan Prunzik. So it'll be fourth down. And let's see if Mount Lebanon decides to go for it here. A punt is not going to do him that much good.
You see Prunzik in motion, then running a quick slant. It worked on his play in practice. The ball, it's a timing type route. You got to time up with your wide receiver. That time Clemens did not time it up with Prunzik. The ball behind Prunzik on the play, and it went for an incomplete pass, but he was wide open in that seam in front of Chris Caesar to free safety.
That would have been a first down. Clemens now 2 out of 6. They're going for it, 4th and 11. Clemens looking, man open on the sideline, slips and falls. Prunzik again wide open, but as he went for the ball, he slipped and he fell. So 2 unfortunate slips for Mount Lebanon on this series.
Stan, I've played on this field so many times. There's a lot of different artificial turf shoes you can use when the field is just a little bit wet. That time, Prunzik going down the sidelines on an underthrow, which would have given them the first down, and it went for an incomplete pass.
We have got 8:44 left in the third quarter. We've got a timeout. The score, North Hill 7, Mount Lebanon nothing. This is the Battle of the Best on WTAE TV.
You're never too old, you're never too young. There's a Daly's treat for everyone. Fresh fruit flavors as good as can be, loaded with tons of vitamin C. Wherever you are and whatever you're doing, Daly's has a flavor just right for you. And what are you waiting for? Who could deserve it more? Treat yourself to the fun. There's a Daly's treat for everyone. Life goes by too quickly to let it get away. Don't wait until tomorrow. Enjoy it all today. Don't shortchange yourself. There's so much you can do. Carry Cash Stream. Cash Stream works for you.
Fourth down and 11. Mount Lebanon goes for it. And Jack, they would have had it.
Here's Dan Prince just lining up way wide near the sideline, and he is wide open. It's a zone defense, and he sits down in that zone area, and you see his legs just go right out from underneath him on that artificial turf. The second time that's happened, and it killed a Mount Lebanon drive deep in North Hills territory.
Remember, Mount Lebanon's home field is artificial turf, so they certainly are used to playing on the surface. T.J. Schmidt with the carry across the 35 and out to the 38-yard line. Strong gain on first down of 8 yards. It'll be 2nd and 2. Matt Smith, the free safety, a junior, 6'3", 175 pounds, makes the tackle.
You said so many different running backs. You have the lead blocking up front at the point of attack, and T.J. Schmidt just finding the open area downfield. And also Chris Caesar out in front at the end on the play, trying to block ahead of T.J. Schmidt.
2nd down and 2. This is Dwayne Hitchcock, and he's got a North Hills first down near the 42-yard line. The Indians with their first offensive possession of the second half, as North Hills held it for nearly 4 minutes starting the third quarter. Brad Barton made the initial hit with help from Pat Smith, but it's a first down.
You see power football right there. Good block by Pat Carey and T.J. Schmidt for Dwayne Hitchcock, and get the first down. I told Stan before, I mean, we may not see another pass from North Hills right now. They're conservative offensively. When they've got the lead like this, 7-0, it's a big lead in that kind of football team.
First down and 10. Morris on the keeper, straight up the gut, then he gets out near midfield. The inside linebackers, Rob Shearer and Scott Teeters, made the tackle, but they just powered it out on wedge blocking.
Look at just straight ahead. The backs go the other direction, and Morris just goes right up the middle. Offensive lineman just coming off the football, just power football in the last 3 plays. Nothing fancy at all from North Hills. Mount Lebanon has seen it in the last game and also the entire first half.
You know, normally when you see a hole like that up the middle, it's normally a trap. That's just straight power blocking right there. 2nd down. Inside handoff to Schmidt, who is in Mount Lebanon territory at the 49-yard line. Stopped there by Barton and Teeters. It'll bring up 3rd down and about 1.5 yards for a first down.
And that number 88 is a linebacker, 6'3", 240 pounds, and he can pick the university that he would like to attend.
Well, we've watched him. We saw films of you in high school. I mean, if you ended up all pro, he ought to be all universe in his rookie year.
Boy, isn't that the truth?
3rd down, 1.5 yards for the first down. Morris gives to Schmidt, and he powers his way to the 46-yard line, and that'll be good for a North Hills first down. Inside linebackers Shearer and Teeters make the stop, but not nearly soon enough.
Well, nothing fancy about North Hills. You see them coming off the football, and the key to it, the backs block for each other. You see a good block by T.J. Schmidt, and the other running backs run hard on the play. Every time the other backs block for one of the other running backs, you see a hard running by all 3 running backs, Schmidt, Carey, and Hitchcock.
And the offensive line, look at the pound differential, 25 pounds per man from the North Hills offensive line to the Mount Lebanon defensive line. Morris in some trouble, scrambles out of it and gains a couple out to the 44. Gain of 2, could have been a loss of 3. Shearer again on the tackle, 2nd down and 8. And one of the things that has happened, Jack, when you see that kind of weight differential, North Hills has been able to wear teams down.
Well, you just pound on people all day long like that, even though they're only 12-minute quarters. 3rd and 4th quarter, and the way those backs run behind that offensive line, and like I said, is nothing secret what they're going to try to do. Just hammer the football at a smaller defensive line. For the most part in the first half, Mount Lebanon was stunning quite a bit. So far right now, North Hills is taking the football right to their defense.
Let's see if we get a rollout here because the North Hills got a single back set. And there it is. Morris looking. He fires, and wide open is Ranke. And Ranke's got a first down deep in Mount Lebanon territory near the 25-yard line. Teeters ran Eric Ranke out of bounds, but how about that? They've thrown more in this game than they have all season long. It's a 19-yard gain and a first down.
A little bit of Air McCrory right here, right now. You see Morris rolling out, get a good block by number 20, Pat Carey, on the play as well. Good block to set up that throw downfield. And Eric Ranke doesn't catch the ball too often. Caught that one in the flat and took it down inside the 30-yard line.
First down and 10. North Hills at the Mount Lebanon 25-yard line. Hitchcock, big hole. Inside the 20 and down to the 18-yard line for a gain of 7 as the clock rolls down to 5:05 to play. Free safety Matt Smith made the tackle on Dwayne Hitchcock, and North Hills got it cranked up now.
When a free safety Matt Smith starts making some tackles, you know people are getting downfield into your secondary. You see Hitchcock, another strong runner, taking the ball inside the 20-yard line. This is vintage North Hills football on this drive.
And the key block was by fullback Pat Carey. Good kick-out block on the defensive end. Second down and 2. Hitchcock again, looking outside to the 15, the 10, the 5. He's down to the 1-yard line. Dwayne Hitchcock, who has scored the game's only touchdown, picks up yardage down to the 1-yard line. Dave Clements, defensive end, and Dave Kramer make the tackle, but it's a 17-yard gain, first and goal, North Hills.
Wait, good block by T.J. Schmidt on the corner, and the rest of it's all Dwayne Hitchcock breaking to the outside. Outstanding speed, a little hesitation, little Walter Payton move over there near the sideline, and stay in bounds and taking it inside the 5 down to the 1-yard line.
Look at the isolation block with Carey and Schmidt.
Well, they just absolutely bury somebody right on the corner, and then the rest of it's all Hitchcock.
First and goal from the 1. Morris keeps, and Morris is in for the touchdown. Greg Morris on the quarterback keeper. He's thrown for 1. He's run for 1. And North Hills leads 13-0.
A very impressive drive by North Hill. That's just muscle football. Nothing fancy at all. Just taking the football, power football, right off the line of scrimmage. You credit the offensive line. We talked so much about the backs and how well they have run with the football. The offensive line is just knocking Mount Lebanon off the line of scrimmage.
All right, Jason Bender will attempt the extra point. Morris will hold. 4:07 to play in the third quarter, and the Indians are up by 2 touchdowns. Bender's kick is up, and it is good. So 4:07 to play in the third quarter. The score, North Hills 14, Mount Lebanon nothing. Time now for another WPIAL flashback. '84, Mount Lebanon versus Gateway. The big play of the night, a 78-yard punt return by Mount Lebo's Doug Morgan all the way to the Gateway 2-yard line. Mount Lebanon wins their 4th championship of this decade, 20-12.
You're almost there when you call. You're almost there when you call Allegheny Commuter.
We hope the special gift you get this Christmas lasts all year long. Merry Christmas from Eaton Park.
North Hills completes a 70-yard drive, 10 plays, 9 on the ground. Greg Morris goes in from the 1-yard line, time-consuming, 4:37, and that's the way Jack McCurry likes it.
The only one pass they had was to Eric Ranke on the sidelines on a rollout by Greg Morris. Other than that, it was just power football, some option, some veer, and just straight ahead blocking. And a lot of the good blocks were thrown by T.J. Schmidt and Pat Carey for a lot of the runs on the outside by Dwayne Hitchcock, who took the ball down inside the 1 yard line.
Bender kicks off, and it's a line drive squib type. Donahue gets out to the 30-yard line. Now for the followers for Mount Lebanon, the last series of downs, Jack, they hit 2 passes to tight end Shear. Prunzik was wide open twice, one a bad throw, one time he slipped, so perhaps the passing game is there.
Well, they could throw the football. Right now, watching Sam Spade on the kick coverage team. Like I said, North Hills does good things in all departments, including special teams. See him going down, keeping his feet, and just coming on and making the tackle inside the 30-yard line.
Also a good play by Mark Ellermeyer. First down and 10. Here's the inside counter, and it's going to gain a yard, perhaps 2, out to the 32-yard line. Just to keep him honest, John Donahue, the ball carrier, and Eric Reinke makes the stop. Donahue, a junior at 5'10", 155 pounds, averaging 5.2 a carry coming into the ball game. Second down and 8. 3.5 to play, third quarter. North Hills has gone on top now, 14-0, completing a 70-yard drive. Scott Clemens at quarterback. Firing in the flat, then it is caught. Prunzik stays on his feet, finally bumped out of bounds by Caesar. Depends on the mark as to whether he's got the first down. He had to get to the 40-yard line. Pat Carey made the first hit. Caesar took him out of bounds.
Well, I am impressed about the toughness of Danny Prunzik. Roll out by Clement, throwing the football. He gets it high. Good hit right here by Pat Carey. Does not take him out of bounds. He has broken more tackles this evening than anybody on that football field at 168 pounds. A good play by Prunzik, hanging on to the football and keeping his feet.
It is a first down, Jack, and now Scott Clemens 3 out of 8 for 21 yards. Prunzik's first catch of the night. Other 2 went to tight end Shear. Pat Smith, good 5-yard gain on first down out to the 45-yard line. Certainly there's no reason for Mount Lebanon to panic. A lot of time left, just under 3 minutes to play, third quarter, another 12 minutes of football to go. Reinke and Cagle make the tackle for the Indians.
There's time to panic if you look at the stats of the North Hills defense.
No, it's time to panic when they found out we were doing the game. Here's a good time to panic. Second down and 5. And, of course, that's where you want the defense, so that you can dictate to them instead of the other way around. Clements on the keep. Gets about 3 out to the 48, where it'll be third down and 2. And Gary Gorojeski stayed at home, number 72, and he made the tackle from his right defensive end spot.
Well, if you're an offensive coordinator or a head coach at Mount Lebanon, you're looking at that North Hills team where there just aren't any holes or any weaknesses in that football team defensively. They play the run extremely well. They contain. People are disciplined to stay at home. Their secondary, led by Chris Caesar, plays extremely well in covering both zone and man-to-man. It's a tough defense to try to crack.
Third down and 2, and Mount Lebanon is 0 for 6 on third down conversions. Out of the pro set to the eye, Pat Smith, the deep man in the tandem. We got a whistle.
Got Eric Reinke, who went in the neutral zone. In high school football, the play is immediately blown dead.
Either that or delay of game.
What do you call it? Delay.
Yep, delay of game.
Good call, Jack. Sorry, Eric.
That's a very difficult penalty, to say the least. 3rd and 2. Now you're 3rd and 7. When you're an underdog, Jack, big plays win big games, and so far Mount Lebanon has not been able to make them, or perhaps the other side of the coin. It's a matter of perspective. But North Hills hasn't allowed them to make those plays. Third down and 7. Clemens got room on the corner, but he throws instead. Then it is caught, and it depends on the spot, and a flag is down. May have a face mask here.
Or a late hit on Pat Carey.
He was down.
Number 20, Pat Carey.
Remember, in high school football, your knee touches down, and you're down. You see Clemens rolling out. He's going to hit his favorite target, Dan Prunzik. And here comes Pat Carey. He goes down on the artificial, slips down again.
Yep.
And Pat Carey comes down and just hits him while he's down on the ground. Momentum carrying into Prunzik. A good call by the official.
Well, luckily, Prunzik was sliding away, so he didn't take the full brunt of it. But indeed, it's a dead ball foul. Tacked down.
Ball, 1st and 10 at the North Hills 35-yard line.
The ball at the 35-yard line. The 15-yard penalty. The pass was good for 10. Tack on the 15. And Mount Lebanon's in business at the North Hills 35-yard line with 1:34 to play third quarter. North Hills leading 14-0. And now we're going to get a timeout. As Scott Clements came to the line of scrimmage, he calls a timeout. They may need it later on. They are down to 2. 1:28 to play in the third quarter. North Hills 14, Mount Lebanon nothing. This is the Battle of the Best on WTAE TV.
Michael? Mr. Jackson?
Looking for me?
You know, it's nice to be remembered.
I remember hearing about Skouras about 20 years ago from a friend.
Why, we've been recommending that our customers go to Tony Skouras for over 25 years for transmission work.
The fellows are very courteous, the price is right, and I'm well satisfied. Yes, I would recommend Skouras to all my friends.
And I guess I can say that if I had another transmission problem, I'd call Tony.
Thanks, folks. I'm just too modest to say it myself.
1:28 to play in the third quarter as we return to play. Mount Lebanon, having called a timeout, has 2 remaining. And the football's at the North Hills 35-yard line. Not the deepest penetration. Mount Lebanon did get to the 31-yard line on its previous possession. It is 1st down and 10. Gain down to the 32-yard line. Dave Helen makes the tackle with help from Doug Dickman. Smith, the ball carrier, for a gain of about 3 to make it 2nd down and 7.
Just trying to change up. They're throwing the football so much on that rollout on 1st down. Try to pop Pat Smith right up the middle. Maybe break a play into the secondary. But again, that disciplined North Hills defense holds that to about a 2 or 3 yard gain.
Smith now 33 yards and 8 carries. Clements, by the way, 4 out of 9, 27 yards, 2 each to Shear and 2 to Dan Prunzik. 2nd and 7, a throwing down. Play action. Clements looking deep. Overthrown and incomplete. Looking for Prunzik on the sideline. That time, good coverage by North Hills. And in addition to that, Pat Carey was able to use the sideline as a help in his defense.
When Dan Prunzik went in motion, 3 people from the North Hills secondary moved. Pat Carey going deep on the play. He has a deep coverage downfield. Good position on Prunzik. You see underneath number 23, Dave Helen also underneath, and also the linebacker Eric Renke slid out as well. So when they know Prunzik's a big play guy from Mount Lebanon, they're sliding their formation to him.
One thing we haven't seen is Pat Smith catching a pass out of the backfield. Clements looking in trouble, fires, and he was looking that time for Pat Smith, all right. But he was rushed and threw it at his feet. Dickman gave him a pop after the ball fell down. It's 4th down and 7. So there was Smith out of the backfield, but he didn't have enough time to set it up.
They're trying to roll out, and then Pat Smith just curling out of the backfield right underneath the coverage. And Dickman had his sights set on Pat Smith on the play. And had he caught the football, Dickman would have made the tackle right there.
4th down and 7. The 2nd consecutive series on which Mount Lebanon has gone for it on 4th and 7. Clements over the middle, incomplete. He's looking for his main man, but again, double coverage. Dan Prunzik has got guys in front of him, on top of him, underneath him, around him. It's going to be tough to get the ball to him, Jack.
Well, he told him when you're going to take Danny Prunzik away, you see Greg Morris underneath on this coverage as well. You see all kind of people and deep on the plays. Number 20, Pat Carey, has a deep over the top. Should Prunzik go downfield even further, got to force the football to Dan Prunzik. Just cannot get it in there. Jack McCurry said they're going to take away Prunzik from Mount Lebanon, and he has so far.
31 seconds remain in the third quarter. This is T.J. Schmidt, the ball carrier, and Schmidt rolls over a blocker out to the 40, 41-yard line, but there is a flag on the play. Going to have motion against North Hills.
Look at the end of this play. T.J. Schmidt, Brad Barton ends up making the tackle downfield. Brad Barton right there. Not exactly a picture-perfect tackle. He's getting blocked downfield, but he's had an outstanding game from that nose tackle position for Mount Lebanon. That time he got blocked off the line of scrimmage.
Kind of looked like a spotter in tumbling drill where you help the guy do the backflip.
After my highlights at the beginning of this game, I can't even talk about any kind of tackling at all.
That's right, since you didn't have much experience at least in that one game. 29 seconds.
That was really the Chicago Bears of high school football we were playing that day.
Central Catholic, yeah. First down and 15. North Hills at their own 27-yard line. Morris, good fake, and he keeps. And he's out to the 35-yard line. And that should be the last play of the third quarter. Matt Smith, makes the tackle. Matt and Pat playing together. It's a gain of 8. It'll be second down and 7. North Hills their own 35.
But so much more pressure when that quarterback is not just a quarterback, but a running back in any kind of rollout or option. And he's made the big plays today, including the touchdown pass to Hitchcock.
That is the end of the third quarter. The score, North Hills 14, Mount Lebanon nothing. This is the Battle of the Best on WTAE TV.
Once upon a time, in the land of supermarkets, there lived a giant, and he made some mighty big claims. There is absolutely one way to shop for food, but the people grew disenchanted.
Weekly specials, double coupons, weekly.
Until one day, they saw the light.
Shop and save!
And everyone shopped happily ever after. When it comes to saving money, Shop and Save wrote the book.
Look! What to your wondering eyes now appear? Only at Burger King, it's cuddly reindeer. There's Rodney, Ramona, Rhonda, and Randy. At $1.99 each, the price is just dandy. Buy a $5 book of gift certificates here and pay just $1.99 for your reindeer. Collect all 4 at a Burger King sign. Get your reindeer right now and the best food for fast times.
What you start with makes a big difference in what you end up with. Start with Reynolds Wrap. Make it right from the start.
Unless there is an overtime of some kind, we are about to start the final 12 minutes of the high school football season. And if Mount Lebanon has any chance, they've got to stop North Hills here, because another long drive resulting in any kind of a score, that would pretty much be it.
And they'll take some chances, stunning, doing all kind of different things, taking the gaps to try to make a play in the backfield.
Hitchcock across the 35 and out to the 38-yard line, where George Fector, who has 7 solo tackles for Mount Lebanon, makes the stop. Let's go down to the sideline and Lynn Cullen. Lynn?
The last time we saw North Hills tackle Jim Lash, he was being taken off the field on a stretcher. He's back on the field now on crutches. What happened to you out there?
Man came down the line to block me, and my knee gave out from under me.
And what's the prognosis?
Torn ligaments.
Torn ligaments is what it is. Show him the side of your head. He's got the number on the side of his head, 77. He's disappointed not to be playing, but there's next year because he's a junior. Back to you.
All right, let's hope whatever rehabilitative process he has to go through goes well for him, and he is back next year. This is Pat Carey. Bulls his way for a first down across the 45. Well, that's strong running by Pat Carey. Matt Smith made the tackle, didn't so much make the tackle as get in the way of Pat Carey.
And a good block on the outside by Brian Cagle pulling out. I'll tell you, he lowers his head, keeps his legs moving on the play. 185-pound running back plays a lot stronger than that by keeping those legs moving and staying low, and got a few extra yards and the first down.
Greg Morris, 2 out of 3 passing for 37 yards and a touchdown. He's also rushed for 72 yards on 14 carries and scored a touchdown. First and 10, North Hills, their own 46. This is Schmidt. Schmidt gets about 3 to the 49-yard line. All the time, the clock runs. 10:45 to play in the game.
Well, again, when Schmidt carrying the football, T.J. Schmidt Pat Carey is leading the way, or Dwayne Hitchcock when he's called on to do some blocking. So all those backs block for each other, and on those power sweeps by the quarterback, they all block for Greg Morris.
You know, it's remarkable, Jack. We showed those comparative weights, 207, 232 of the lines. When I played high school football, there was a grand total of two kids on the team who weighed over 200 pounds on the whole team. This was an average. Morris, good fake inside. He keeps into Mount Lebanon territory at the 48-yard line. He'll bring up 3rd and 4. Brad Barton, number 77 from Mount Lebanon. He's played a great game from the nose tackle spot, makes the stop.
Boy, a nose tackle can make so many plays that people like George Fector contain plays on the outside, force running backs back inside, like Greg Morris had to go back inside on the play. And coming down the line of scrimmage is Brad Barton again, and he made the tackle.
Well, this would make Don Coryell sick, but for the people who like the running game, Bo Schembechler and Woody Hayes would love it. It's been a ground football game, and mostly for North Hills. It is 3rd down and 3. Big possession down for both these teams. Morris keeps. Big yardage into Mount Lebanon. Across the 40 to the 38-yard line for first down. Matt Smith saved what may have been a touchdown.
Usually when the quarterback sneak, that is usually run, so you want to gain a yard or two. You see him right now just breaking off people. Good block downfield. Greg Morris almost breaks this for a touchdown, and he almost broke a few in the first half for long gains as well. The quarterback sneak, which usually gets you about 1 or 2 yards.
On first down plays this half, Morris has run 4 times out of a possible 7. That's what they've been doing on first down. And it is a first down at the 38-yard line. Make it 5 out of 8. Spins his way to the 33, 34-yard line, we'll call it. A gain of 4 to make it 2nd and 6. Pat Smith makes the stop, but the meat grinder is rolling downfield.
Also a good block downfield by Eric Renke. Design run all the way. You see him tuck that football in his arm as soon as he gets it back from center, breaks a couple tackles, keeps his feet moving, and gets it 5 yards and first down. Exactly what he wanted out of that first down play.
It's the safest play. Morris just keeps it, picks up a nice 4-yard gain. It is 2nd and 6 inside the Mount Lebanon 34. Hitchcock. Not much doing that time.
Also a late flag came down right at the 32-yard line.
Gain of about 2. Let's wait and see what the penalty call is going to be.
Taken down at the 32-yard line.
It's going to go against Mount Lebanon.
Number 58, Scott Peters, making the tackle for Mount Lebanon.
There's Eric Renke, the captain of the football team, All-American, Mr. Everything right now. And he'll get another, I guess I'm not sure what the penalty they're discussing it right now. Some more yardage marked off against Mount Lebanon.
A face mask against White. First down.
A face mask in high school football, it's all 15 yards, whether it's flagrant or not. It's automatic 15-yard penalty. Puts the ball inside the 20-yard line, and North Hills is on a roll again.
They're at the 17-yard line with a first down, 1st and 10.
You see Hitchcock coming in here. Looked like Beatty trying to make the tackle, and
Rob Shear
gets his hand in there. And like I said, anytime you go to the helmet with your hand, it's a 15-yard penalty, and the official to call every play was a good call by the referee.
Remember now, on 5 out of 8 first downs, Morris is kept. 6 out of 9. There he goes to the 10. Morris down to the 6-yard line. Greg Morris with a gain of 12 and a first down. Brad Barton caught him from behind, but with that run, Morris is very close to 100 yards.
Little hesitation right here for a second, just a delay, and then he goes to the outside. That holds the defense. Like I said, he is a halfback turning upfield right now. Good call, good execution. You know, you look at pro football and college football, it can be very complicated, a lot of motion, but I'll tell you, good athletes like you have out here right now can take a simple offense and make it work to perfection.
There's Rinke's block. That's textbook right there.
They're just coming off the football. We know what a great linebacker is, also an outstanding tight end.
Blocking on Andy Pellegrino. Carey inside for a couple to the 4. George Fector, who's played a great game on the corner for Mount Lebanon, makes the stop. Jack Morris is 5'11", 180, 85 pounds. He does start on defense. Do you see him as a defensive back in college?
Well, I think he could either probably be a defensive back. I mean, as a quarterback, like I said, he does not throw the ball. We really don't know what kind of quarterback he is because he does not throw the ball at all in his North Hills offense, but he runs it to perfection. I could see him either being a free safety on defense. A lot of quarterbacks in high school turn out being good defensive backs.
2nd and goal from the 4. North Hills going for what would be the clinching touchdown. Hitchcock gets a yard to the 3. Good pursuit that time by the Mount Lebanon defense. Josh Winokur, a junior at 6'1", 220. Number 64 coming in to make the initial hit. But the clock is running with 6:25 to play.
Just a straight power play. There's really no hold all. Mount Lebanon does a good job again on the corner. George Fector again turns it inside. You see Dwayne Hitchcock right here. He'll probably be one of the saddest guys after this football game is over because he's only a junior and there's 9 people leave on that offensive football team. So he may be running for his life next year.
There are people who believe there are 8 or 9 legitimate Division I college prospects on this North Hills team. 3rd and goal from the 3. Schmidt in motion. Morris keeps, and he's hit hard at the line of scrimmage. Perhaps falls forward for half a yard. Brad Barton, certainly the defensive player of the game, makes the stop. Watch 77.
When Mount Lebanon gets penetration, see Barton just coming over the top. Just an outstanding play. And also Scott Teeters, the linebacker, contains it. But Brad Barton has been all over this field for Mount Lebanon. If there was a defensive player of the game award, I think he and George Fector and Mount Lebanon might win it hands down.
Well, he did what he was taught to do. He followed the pulling guard, Brad Cagle, down the line. Because that pulling guard will lead you to the play every time. 4th down and goal from the 2-yard line. Pat Carey is stopped short. And Mount Lebanon will take over on downs.
And Stan, guess who makes the play from the outside? Number 24, George Fector again. You see the toss outside and in the backfield. Here comes George Fector from the outside going back in and just trips up Pat Carey on the play, try to turn back inside, but George Fector just came flying up from that right cornerback position, turned the play in, and tripped up Pat Carey.
5:08 to play in the game. North Hills leading Mount Lebanon 14-0. This is the Battle of the Best on WTAE TV.
This is really getting big. They're coming by the thousands. Down to you, Kurt.
It seems this is the first store to have the new lemon lime slice with the great new taste.
How was it? Fantastic!
Listen, people, the new slice has more lemon lime taste than 7-Up and Sprite. We've got the juice.
Who gets the dance?
The new lemon lime slice. It's got a great new taste.
Think you'll have enough slice, Max?
Maybe. Maybe not.
Really nothing to worry about. A 99-yard touchdown pass, and Mount Lebanon's right back in it. They're at their own 1-yard line.
When you talk about an uphill battle with 5:08 left to go in a football game, you need 2 scores against a team and just does not give up points at all. 14 points to Penn Hills, and I think 6 points to someone else. I'm not sure who, and that's been it for the year. Even the backup people who play a lot for North Hills have not given up any points.
From their own 1-yard line, this is Pat Smith. He gets about 3 yards out to the 4-yard line where it'll be 2nd and 7. Now on the last drive, Jack, North Hills did not score, but it was a 12-play drive and they ate up 5 minutes and 41 seconds, in essence, almost as good as a score.
Worked the clock, and Coach Jack McCurry is not too confident knowing that his defensive football team is going to be on the field right now with 4:45 left to go. They're a great team. I'll tell you one thing, they've been together for 3 years, and this is a culmination of a great football team in North Hills.
Scott Clements out in the flat. Prunzik's got it. Makes a nice move and gets to the 11, 12-yard line. Fumbles. And they rule that it is a fumble and North Hills is recovered. I thought they might say that Prunzik was down. But they're going to give the football on the fumble to North Hills at the 12-yard line after Prunzik had caught his 3rd pass of the game and picked up a much-needed first down. Tim Redshaw, number 42 for the Indians, made the recovery.
Just the idea of Dan Prunzik trying to make a big play on a quick hitch pattern.
10 at the Mount Lebanon 12-yard.
It's a very safe pattern on the out. You see him right now breaking a tackle, trying to break another tackle, in which he does, and finally just ball pops loose right there. Good hit by Doug Dickman, I think, knocks the ball loose, and then finally, who was it? Redshaw finally comes up with a fumble recovery.
At the 12-yard line, 1st and 10, North Hills. Hitchcock and not much doing here. About a yard to the 11. Brad Barton, who else, made the tackle. 4 minutes and 20 seconds to play in the football game. North Hills protecting a 14-0 lead. They are protecting an undefeated season and protecting a first-team defense which did not allow a point all year long.
And I can see why they're rated by USA Today the #1 football team in the country. Strong offensively with a running game, outstanding defense, great special teams, great football players. Some key guys out there will make major college football be stars in major college football.
2nd and 9, Morris back to throw, man wide open, touchdown North Hills. Chris Caesar, the 11-yard touchdown catch, and North Hills has salted this one away.
Who would have ever thought 2 touchdown passes by North Hills? Morris just lays the football up to Chris Caesar, who I said may be the best athlete on the field. Right now, they've been running the football all second half. This time, a play-action fake, which will hold everybody. And you see Chris Caesar downfield. Eric Renke was wide open, too. You could have taken your choice downfield. Renke down near the goal line, but Caesar takes it in for the score.
Boy, Greg Morris, who had only thrown 44 passes all year long, has thrown 4 today, 3 out of 4 for 48 yards, 2 touchdowns, and North Hills has extended their lead to 21-0. 3:47 to play. Now, for another WPIAL flashback. 1983, another low-scoring championship. This one between Mount Lebanon and North Allegheny. The only score came when Mount Lebanon quarterback Pat King rifled this pass to Dan O'Brien, who took it 56 yards for the score. Mount Lebanon wins 7-0.
You're almost there when you call. You're almost there when you call Allegheny Commuter.
Choose from the full line of Daly's cocktail mixes at your favorite store.
Talk about your aerial blitzes.
This is when a play-action fake works so much, especially all the running that North Hills has done. The play-action fake holds people inside, and finally Chris Caesar gets the easy touchdown.
Donahue with a kickoff return from Mount Lebanon is still on his feet and finally brought down in a good tackle at the 32-yard line by Doug Dickman, who's had a great football game for North Hills. He's a senior, 6'1", 200 pounds. I tell you, if you see the North Hills side, obviously, the Mount Lebanon side has pretty much been and rushed for the exits. That came after the fumble by Dan Prunzik, 12-yard drive, 2 plays, 11-yard pass from Morris to Caesar. Scott Clements, short drop, in trouble. He fires. Pat Smith has got it, but they will lose 6 yards on the pass completion. Dave Helen made that he was in there, and so was Mark Lasky, number 63, and Clemens really didn't have much of a chance to do anything.
Boy, they're just so sound defensively. Eric Renke, good quickness, trying to rush the passer. Clemens, who's trying to just get outside of containment, trying to buy some time for trying to make a play downfield. Renke and Lasky and people are just all over the field. They are a relentless defense.
2nd down and 16, 2:45 to play in the game. North Hills leads at 21-0. Pass complete to the 40-yard line, short of the first down. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 2. The pass out there to John Villela. Villela is a junior, 5'10", 165 pounds. T.J. Schmidt made the tackle, but a penalty against Mount Lebanon. Been that kind of night.
No, it really has. Ever since it ended the first half, when Greg Morris made a lot of big plays running the football, and then a touchdown pass to Hitchcock that brought him a 7-0 lead at the half. It's been all North Hills. When they got that 7-0 lead at second half, it's been all downhill for North Hills.
That pass completion of 14 yards will be negated on the penalty.
On the way. 2nd down.
The holding takes the football all the way back to the 14-yard line. It's going to be 2nd down. And they pretty much have to go to Greentree to get a first down here.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, you got to give a lot of credit to Art Walker and his job he's done with that football team. Come from behind victory last week in the playoffs, and they held North Hills to 14 points in the game they played a couple of weeks ago. An outstanding football team just ran into a great one tonight.
2nd down and 28. Slant over the middle. It is caught in a good, tough catch. Over the middle. Greg Morris, the quarterback, supplied the hit on Matt Smith.
Boy, and Doug Dickman from the inside linebacker, also makes the hit as well. When you're throwing a football right down the middle, he takes a couple of pops right now. Here comes Doug Dickman from the inside.
3rd down and long. Clements will scramble. Breaks one tackle, gets to the 31-yard line, and he'll be about 10 yards shy of the first down as the clock runs down to 1 minute and 30 seconds to play. Tim Redshaw makes the tackle. He's a sophomore, 5'10", 180 pounds. 4th down and 10. Jarrella's Gorillas.
Roy Jarrell was around here, I think, yesterday, and I think some of his fan club is still left.
With 1:32 to play in the football game, the score, North Hills 21, Mount Lebanon nothing. This is the Battle of the Best on WPIAL TV.
There have been dramatic changes in transmission design, and marriage with computer technology has changed the way they're repaired. Scuro Transmission has kept pace with these changes and offers expert service, as it has for 40 years, to thousands of satisfied customers. Scuro employs the largest staff of trained technicians in the area, and their combined knowledge assures you the best service available. Check the yellow pages for our 6 locations. High-tech design has changed transmission repair, and at Scuro, we're ready for it.
There's something special cooking at Eden Park. Always has been.
The WPIAL retains all rights of this broadcast. The telecast of this game is intended exclusively for the benefit of WTAE TV's audience. Any recording or reproduction of the broadcast is expressly prohibited without prior written consent of the WPIAL. 4th down, 10 yards to go. Mount Lebanon goes for it, firing on the run. The pass is caught on the far sideline. Very near a first down. Prunzik makes the catch. T.J. Schmidt the hit. Prunzik is really taking some shots, Jack. He's tough.
Boy, he is quite the competitor. He's running that hook pattern. He knows he's going to get belted right near the sideline. Right when the ball gets there, here comes T.J. Schmidt. Takes his legs right out from underneath him. He got the first down. That's a big league play by Dan Prunzik, knowing exactly where he had to go to get the first down.
Remember, these kids are running around. T.J. Schmidt playing both ways. A lot of them play both ways. Tough, hard-hitting football game. Clements now 8 of 16, 51 yards. They get the first down. They're at their own 42. Clements fires deep, and it is caught. Prunzik has got the football at the 34-yard line, and he gets out of bounds. So Dan Prunzik coming up with some big catches now.
And a good throw by Scott Clements to Dan Prunzik. At the end of this play, you see number 84, Chris Caesar, come underneath, trying to make the interception. The ball goes right by Caesar. Prunzik makes the catch. Outstanding throw by Clements.
Minute 15 remaining. Prunzik now 5 catches for 59 yards. Pat Smith in motion. Intercepted at the 31-yard line. Dave Helen with the interception. Trying to hit the receiver underneath, and Dave Helen, a senior linebacker, makes the interception.
Boy, this is a great interception by Helen, who's made a lot of good plays. Diving, he ends up being the receiver on the play. It's a low pass. Look at it again. Helen goes down for it, catches it in his hands right here. Outstanding man-to-man coverage by Helen, who's made a lot of big plays. And here comes the Gatorade.
Uh-oh, Gatorade on Jack McCurry. Look out. Hey, if it's good enough for the New York Giants, it's good enough for the North Hills Indians. 54 seconds to play. First down and 10. Got some backup folks in the game now.
After that Gatorade, I just hope nobody starts writing books from North Hills.
That's right. Remember what happened to the Giants this year, boys and girls. That's Jeff Bender in a quarterback, number 12. The clock is running. 35 seconds to play. North Hills will go 13-0. Thanks to our producer, Tim Kiley, did a great job lining all this up. Our director is Bobby Watt. Michael Fowler has been our associate director, assistant director, here in the broadcast booth. Field producer, Dan Henninger. 13 seconds to play. That should be the last play of this ball game and this season. We will watch North Hills celebrate the WPIAL Quad A Championship. Art Walker, his last high school game.
And you got to give credit to both teams. North Hills had the pressure on them from day one, being rated #1 by USA Today, the #1 team in the country. Took that reputation with them through every game, came back, and they won this one very badly after being tied the first time 2 years ago, then getting beat last year 7-6, and now I think they were just a determined football team that had that resolve that they were going to win it this year, and they were just a dominant football team throughout the course of the season.
A nice touch on the field like hockey in the Stanley Cup playoffs as the players go by and shake hands with each other, forming a single file line as they go by. There you see it.
And Mount Lebanon has nothing to be ashamed about. People like Brad Barton and George Spector on defense. Scott Clemens trying to move the team downfield, even down 21-0. And Dan Prunzik was just trying to make big plays all evening for Mount Lebanon, breaking tackles. So, you know, Western Pennsylvania has a reputation of great football, and these two teams sure demonstrated that this evening.
A disheartening loss a year ago for North Hills, losing to Gateway 7-6 in the championship game. But this time, with a 21-0 victory, they left no doubt. With us now is the head coach of the undefeated North Hills Indians, the champions of the Quad A division of WPIAL, Jack McCurry. First of all, Jack, congratulations.
Thank you very much. It was a hell of a ball game tonight.
Your first touchdown drive, you only completed the one pass, the touchdown pass, but it was all set up on pass action by Greg Morris.
We tried to set that up. We were trying to hit the flat and let them work there, and eventually we got the one deep for the touchdown.
Jack, do you think that Mount Lebanon was keying on all the other running backs? It seemed like Greg Morris was the guy who made a lot of key plays running with the football on those sweeps.
Well, we felt that the way their ends were containing, that he would come down there and he'd read it and he'd turn up in if he could find the yardage. And when the hash marks are close together like this, it favors our running quarterback.
Jack, about quarter and a half, you had 47 yards rushing on 20 carries. Then your touchdown drive. Were you at all concerned about that? Were you waiting for Mount Lebanon to overcommit to the run before you went to the sprint out actions?
Well, we were very conservative at the beginning, and I think that was my fault. I should have opened up early, but once we did open it up, we moved their defensive backs off the ball a little bit, and that helped the running game.
And you took that 7-0 lead in at halftime. What did you tell your football team at halftime? You think we had it won at that point?
If we play 2 quarters the way we all have all year, the game is ours.
Jack, I've got to ask you this also. Everybody looks at North Hills as the all-powerful, and yet people tend to forget you lost this very same game a year ago, so you had certainly something to gain this year and something to prove.
Well, we had something to prove to a lot of people. You know, we were highly rated last year and we lost. We wanted to come this year and show everybody the type of caliber and the program that we have at North Hills.
Do you have mixed emotions at this point? You lose so many great football players.
Well, I'm just happy for them. we have some good football players back. We might be back next year.
Jack, when I talked to you up at your place this week, it seemed like you were just quietly very confident in your football team.
We were very confident going into tonight's ball game. We felt if we could just stay away from the turnovers that we could win the game.
Jack, thanks very much for being with us. On behalf of both Jack and myself, congratulations. A magnificent season, a magnificent defense. Congratulations on a victory well-earned and well-deserved.
Thank you very much.
Jack McCurry, the head coach of the North Hills Indians. So perhaps no one is surprised by the outcome of it. Really, the late touchdown after the fumble recovery was exactly what it had been in the regular season, Jack, at 14-0.
Well, I think the way this football team played, I think the way they pounded the football, and when they did go to that play action, you saw people wide open downfield because they run the football so effectively with so many different people. And Morris is the key to that whole thing. Even though he does not throw the football all that much, the way they were running the ball around the corners and the sweeps, well, that's when you set up play-action passes, and those play-action passes went for touchdowns and wide-open receivers downfield.
Well, a couple of items, Jack, certainly indicative of the way the game was played. Time of possession, North Hills 27.5 minutes and Mount Lebanon 17.5 minutes. Some individual statistics, and certainly the offensive player of the game was quarterback Greg Morris. Passing 3 out of 4, 48 yards, passed for 2 touchdowns, 1 to Hitchcock and 1 to Caesar. And Morris also rushed for 105 yards on 19 carries, rushed for a touchdown himself. And North Hills overall, 193 yards rushing, 48 passing, 241 overall.
There's no question they did it offensively, but also unsung heroes on defense, guys who quietly had big games. Guys like Doug Dickman, who made a lot of key plays, played a solid football game. Dave Helen came up with an interception at the end of the game, also played well, besides the people who obviously are great football players like Eric Renke and people like that. But there's no weakness on that football team at all, defensively or offensively, and they played that way this evening.
One of those great defensive players with us, one of the outstanding players for North Hills, Gary Gorojeski, is with us now. Gary's a senior, 6'4", 235 pounds. Gary, that loss last year to Gateway, did that serve as the motivating factor for you guys this year for the entire season?
Yes, it did. It really got us fired up for this year's game. We just came out and played the best we can, and we came out on top.
Gary, because you already played Mount Lebanon once and already had beaten them, do you think you were at a disadvantage playing them in the championship game?
Excuse me?
I said because you already played Mount Lebanon one time and already beat them 14-0, did you feel that maybe you were at a disadvantage playing them again here for the championship?
I can't understand you.
All right, Gary, having played Mount Lebanon in the regular season and beating them 14-0, did you feel like they knew you so well it might be a disadvantage playing them again in the championship game?
Yeah, because they know about our offense and our defense, and they played us pretty tough, and we just we're the better team.
Were you guys at all concerned when you only had the 7-0 lead at the half, or did you feel like you would wear them down like you did last time?
Yes.
All right, Gary, thank you very much for being with us. Congratulations on your championship. Gary Gorojeski, a senior tackle, playing some offense and some defense. We want to talk about Art Walker. Introduced him at a Curbstone Coaches Luncheon earlier in the year, Jack, and we really talk about how kids get involved in football at an early age. Certainly there are Pee-wee leagues and little leagues and so on and so forth, but certainly, and I'm sure you've experienced the same thing, whether you're going to like football or not like football is pretty much based on your junior high and high school coaches, and Art Walker has turned out not only a lot of good football players, but a lot of good kids in the 21 years he's coached.
I think he's got to be awfully proud of his program at Mount Lebanon. When I went out this week to interview Art Walker and talk to some of his players, they were all keyed up for this game. They thought they had a chance to pull off the upset. They knew North Hills was going to be the team that was going to be favored. They thought they could open the football game up against North Hills, widen it out a little bit, and try to throw the football downfield. It just did not work. North Hills had the better football team on both sides of the football.
And one of the reasons they had a better football team on both sides of the football is Eric Renke, starting end and linebacker. Eric, first of all, congratulations on your victory.
Thank you very much.
Have to ask you about having beaten Mount Lebanon once, 14-0. Did you change all that much? It seemed that Mount Lebanon ran a lot of motion against you guys trying to get Brunswick free. Was your game plan pretty much the same as it was during the regular season?
No, I think they switched their offense around a lot during the regular season. During the regular season, they were more of a pro set team more than anything else. They went a lot more to the wishbone tonight. They tried to establish a power running game to get Brunswick free. However, though, we stopped that at the beginning of the game and took that away as an option, and I think that's why we were able to contain Brunswick later on.
Eric, we know what a great linebacker you are. Tell me about the play where you caught that pass out in the flat.
That's my anniversary of my last catch. It was just a simple flat pass, no big deal, and Greg made a nice throw, and I was rather surprised to catch it more than anything else.
No doubt, Eric, you'll be a linebacker in college, but you will be a great one, and thank you very much for being with us. Again, congratulations on your win.
Thank you very much.
Eric Reinke, a tremendous football player and a great linebacker. Jack, good working with you again. Enjoyed it.
Well, I really enjoyed doing the high school game. It's a championship, and two of the best teams in a WPIAL Quad A, and I just felt that I knew it'd be a good game for the first half, but then North Hills just kind of took control in the second half, and a credit to their whole football team, and they had a great year, and my congratulations to both teams.
All right, the final score once again. North Hills wins the Quad A championship, beating Mount Lebanon 21-0. For Jack Cam and our entire broadcast crew here at Three River Stadium, this is Stan Savran saying thank you very much for watching, and until next time, so long, everybody.